Futures already green here to start things off this morning after an early dip in the pre-market, just 0.4 to the upside, extending what happened yesterday. What a rally we had yesterday right through to the close. We did get a bit of selling into the close at the end of the day here, but we are back higher once again. 517, 520 coming into play for the NASDAQ right now. The S&P looking basically the same. No significant economic data this morning, but we do have a special guest coming up. Kevin O'Leary going to join us here in a couple of minutes to talk about that, exactly this deal we talked about yesterday. Robinhood picking up WonderFi for 250 million Canadian. He's obviously been a big supporter of WonderFi right from day one. We had him on this show. Day one, literally, when this stock started trading in Toronto. You got to go back to August of 2021, if you can believe that. When this thing made its debut on the Toronto Exchange here. So Kevin coming up here in a couple of minutes, we'll get his take on not only what this means about, I think, crypto in general, but on this side of the border specifically, Robinhood obviously making their foray into this country for the first time.
And I like it. It's a big name. We already know them on this side, Brendo. They've got good cachet. They've got good, what do we call it? They're known here. But my question to Kevin is going to be, are the different regulators, because we're provincially regulated, it's not a federal regulator here, Brendo, does that kind of give Robinhood a bit of a challenge going forward, especially certain tokens not allowed to be traded in this country? So a lot of interesting questions about, the nuances between the two countries. We'll have to see how Robinhood navigates that and whether he has some of the answers to those questions.
Yeah, get ready for Robinhood to show up in your App Store app if you're on this side of the border, coming up fairly shortly here. Meanwhile, a whole bunch of other things moving around here. Tesla, 2.8% to the upside, resuming China shipments for Cybercab, the semi-truck, after this tariff truce comes through for Trump. And Xi, there's Meta back to the upside as well, 1% right now. Facing an injunction threat over EU data use for AI, however, but the market doesn't care, obviously. Apple as well, back higher this morning as well. It's trying to, anyways, lagging a little bit, but I did see it just took out day highs there. So trying to catch up a little bit. Again, no significant economic data this morning. Keep in mind, we do get PPI tomorrow, and then more on the inflation side coming up on Friday with Michigan consumer sentiment. So a couple things to look forward to as far as the overall market is concerned. Again, busy morning for us. Welcome if you're joining us a little bit early here this morning. Again, Kevin O'Leary coming up here in a couple minutes. We'll get Raheem coming through as well. He'll give his take on not only this WonderFi deal as well on this side of the border, but crypto in general, guys. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, and a busy one for us. Happier Wednesday if you're an SMCI shareholder, everybody. That Saudi money is pouring in. Well, we got Nvidia got deals too, and of course it's going to affect the chip space, AI as well. But 18% for SMCI, yeah, that'll play. That'll definitely play. Like everything's looking strong. It's weird. Apple does look a little bit weak, and we'll get to that maybe a little bit later. But this was just as strong as anything else yesterday. And maybe even more so. The squeeze is on for several names, whether it's really big ones like the action you saw in Tesla in the afternoon, or the action you saw early in Nvidia, or Palantir making fresh all-time highs. But SMCI is a bit of a different breed, just based on the short float and how far this still probably would have to go to do some real damage on some prior highs. But yeah, SMCI's got a great breakout on it, and we got IPOs back. I mean, we've got E-toro coming to market today. So the IPO is starting to come right back in. I think that could hopefully see a bit of a wave. We've been waiting around for Discord for a while. I'd love to see that one still come through this year.
All right. You'd think that maybe we're bearish, But it's Big Bear AI. It's Big Bear AI. Here we go. So we talked about this. We bought this around $3 the other day. We averaged into this trade. This is working out fine for us right now. Big Bear AI gets going yesterday in the middle of the day, gets going again here today. So if SMCI will play, well, hey, Big Bear AI is here and hopefully here to stay. Yesterday we had UNH with that dip down, and what a great move back upside right now for UNH, up 4%. We'll see if that can catch a bottom here and find that somewhere. So that'll be a good little play right there. UNH going through. Neil mentioned, I mean, Palantir's already above where I sold it yesterday, which is right around here, 130.50, 131 right now for Palantir. I mean, this has been quite the rally back, you know, market wide here. Everything pumping. The Q's bumping right now. ES is starting to head back up to the upside again, up 0.3 right now. Let me see what my guy JPM is up to. 263, that's fine. Let me see what my Uber's up to. It's just everything today. I'm just sort of checking in right now for the first time on many of these things. Nvidia's up 3%. Alibaba's up 2%, or maybe more than that now. UNH continues to go. We had that E-toro. We had WonderFi news. We can check out WonderFi news from yesterday. We can see Robinhood today up to $63, up 1% and a bit as well. So, yeah, I mean, it looks, I don't want to say an all clear right now, but I mean, the market has been going nicely to the upside for quite a bit now. You know, just you've seen the move in Disney. We talked about that yesterday as well. I mean, here's the NASDAQ. It's like, just see ya, you know, and it's starting to go, you know, that nice gap there into 500 up to 515. And then we'll see where we can go today. We are now moments away from all-time highs again. And the markets all turned positive yesterday for the year. So it's like, in what was a complete destruction, down 17% or so at the lows, some of these names, or the indexes, now green on the year. So, I mean, we have to be celebrating that one and say awesome as we work our way through tariffs. I mean, not even anything really hasn't been resolved other than we have these sort of pauses and then talks, right? Which is great. I mean, this is what we're trying to do. Well, I'm not me, but this is what the administration's trying to do, is get these deals done. And the market seems to like the direction that we're going right now. And I'm not going to be sitting here and fading too much today again. We'll see if we can get some longs. But yeah, good start to the day. Tesla also going upside right now. Everything, Affirm, Amazon. I mean, I didn't even check out Amazon.
There's not much that's actually going to be down today. The aforementioned what Brennan kind of pointed out, like Apple's a little bit red. It's interesting. Uber's a little bit red. Netflix is a little bit red. Netflix I get because at that high. Uber made Uber made an all-time high yesterday and just can't seem to get going. Maybe some of that has to do with positive news coming from Tesla. I guess that could be a little bit of it. But yeah, it's an almost everything rally. Let's put it that way. I mean, gold's obviously going to be down, but some surprising ones like, you know, Uber a little bit down, Apple a little bit down, should be a little surprising. We got a super chat from our friend Arsis. Happy Hump Day. Emphasis on market hump, perhaps. Good luck and thanks, Neil and Sean. Appreciate you there. Well, if there's a hump, that would mean we were heading down. So let's hope there isn't a hump. But there are delicious.
Yeah, we've got delicious ones. Thank you, Randy, once again.
Thank you, Randy. Appreciate it.
For coming through. All right, look, I mean, we're getting locked and loaded here. As soon as we are ready to go, we'll have Kevin O'Leary join us. We'll talk about the WonderFi acquisition of WonderFi yesterday. We'll get that going, and then maybe some talk about, you know, I don't know where we're going to go. I mean, I think it's going to be crypto. Yeah, maybe the administration, how these tariffs are looking, what he's feeling like moving forward right now. But we will wait to get that going. And I'm going to work on this sticky note. Lots of ideas coming through again today. Amazon only flat right now. You know what I was interested in is Intel. Intel got going yesterday a little bit. It was 122. That'd be nice.
Imagine.
I put a 1 in front of this number. That'd be
22.
Okay. We might not be here if that ever happened. Yeah. So right now down today. So I wanted to. This is kind of the stuff. Look, I mean, yesterday we talked about it getting going right there off the open, up to $23, faded pretty much. Now, if we were thinking short, these are some names that I'm looking at right now today because they're relatively weak. So when Intel hits that category, and then the Nvidia, and again, you know what that Saudi Arabia forum meant yesterday was a lot. You know, I mean, Trump now basically saying, look, Nvidia, China may be a problem, but we got a lot of buyers. There's a lot of buyers out there. And we saw that yesterday, and Nvidia just kept going, and there it is, man. I was saying, like, you know, all-time highs inbound soon for Nvidia, and it looks like that's going to happen. I was thinking next week we get above this 150. It may even be earlier than that. So it's Hump Day. Thank you, Arsis, for that as well. What's up, Ross in Thailand? Yeah, no, I got so today I got the Breitling on here, the Chronomatic. So we'll see But I see that Kevin's getting ready to go here as well. So I just want to thank everybody for joining us early. Well, it's not early. It's not early for us. We're on every day at 8:30. Make sure you do check us. Over 518,000 subscribers right now. So, we're happy with where that's been going. We're averaging over 11 to 12,000 viewers. Once the market gets open up here, the market recap show has been super hot. Everything right now. We've got the live news feed kicking on here with Adara every single day. We've got Studio 8 renovations. The next time Mr. O'Leary will be in here, we'll have a brand new studio potentially. So that's really exciting. We're getting ready for that. The best and biggest studio in the history of studios
is Studio 8. Nothing. It's going to revolutionize.
Right.
All of broadcast.
We may tariff the stream to pay for it, but no, we're not. No, we're not tariffing anything. But we're really excited for that. So the big renovation, we're putting back. We're trying to get the biggest and best show possible.
That's what it's all about.
And that's what it's all about. So we're always looking to up that game. But anyways, it's going to be a really exciting day, man. Packed full of a few guests.
It's fireworks no matter what in this market, whether we get a hump. I mean, the volatility is here to stay. And, of course, we got mad headlines. And as we have teed up, we are now ready. We can throw to our special guest this morning, Mr. O'Leary.
Happy to have him back. Chairman of O'Leary Ventures, back with us. Kevin O'Leary on the show, friend of the show. We've come full circle, Kevin. It's great to see you and great to have you back to talk about this deal that was announced yesterday. If anyone missed it, we can touch on the actual headline here. First, guys, maybe Robinhood acquiring WonderFi in a $250 million deal, 41% premium that ends up being paid for WonderFi. Kevin, can you hear me at this point? We're still
I hear you.
Okay,
I hear
good.
You.
Just wanted to double check. You and I sat here on day one. You got to go all the way back to August of 2021 when this stock debuted here in Toronto. Give us your thoughts here, full circle, on this deal, just from a high level, and then I want to talk a little bit about the regulatory side.
My premise has always been the emergence of a new technology, that you want to own the picks and shovels as well as take some bets on a portfolio of the actual assets. So that would be Ethereum and Bitcoin, et cetera. And at the time when WonderFi was emerging, I was a very early investor. There were many, many, many competitive exchanges, and the regulatory environment was murky. There was a lot of cowboys in the crypto market globally. All of that's changed. We're at a completely different market now where the impending regulation, or the imputed regulation, if you want to call it that in the United States, notably with the Genius Act, Stablecoin Act, months away. And then, of course, in Canada, one of the first countries on earth to institute an index like a Bitcoin ETF or Ethereum ETF. So the OSC was very advanced in their regulatory environment, and it's great for the country. But WonderFi ended up being the largest consolidator of the exchanges, which was necessary. And of course, today or yesterday, Robinhood, one of the exchanges I'm also a shareholder in and a user of the platform, has decided to consolidate into the Canadian market, which I think has a lot of benefits for the future ongoing.
When we look at this, if you want to break down the actual acquisition in itself, you were a big supporter of when WonderFi picked up both BitBuy and Coinberry initially. Talk about how Robinhood is potentially going to integrate those pieces and where you see those going forward.
Well, the future and what they see, and I think what others see, and I'm also a shareholder in Coinbase. There's no reason, if you're an investor, like the people we're talking to right now, that you can't have all of the assets on one platform. I mean, if you own an ETF or an individual stock, why can't you own Bitcoin in that portfolio? Why can't you own Ethereum? Why can't you own a stablecoin like USDC? Why do you have to have a separate wallet at all? It makes compliance harder. It makes tax reporting harder. And so the future is going to be that, in the case of Robinhood, if I want to own some crypto in that wallet, I can. If I want to own a stock, I can. If I want to own a stablecoin or cash, I can. It's all in one place. And if you're my son who's 28 or my daughter who's 31, you don't understand why you don't have that now. I mean, And I think the regulatory environment is such that is going to come, and obviously Robinhood sees that vision. But in the context of Canada and the United States, think about what this platform has achieved or will achieve should the merger be approved by regulators. Let's say I'm a Canadian business, as I am, and let's say I have businesses in the US, as I do. If I want to transfer cash, let's just keep it simple, FX, I have to go through hell on earth to do that. It's expensive, it's slow, the wire system is archaic, it's 60 years old. I don't want to diss the banks, I do business with all of them. But what do I need them for if I can simply do a transaction from one wallet or one account to the other across the border in USDC or any stablecoin that's approved by the regulators in both countries? It takes a split second. It's totally transparent, it's totally compliant, and it's practically costless. And so that's just the start. What about this? Okay, why do I have to accept payments only from credit cards if I have a Robinhood wallet? Why can't I just simply pay the vendor right there on the spot? Why do I have to pay 2.5% to 3% fees if I'm the vendor? Why don't I just take a digital transaction? Digital payment systems are accommodated by this with full transparency, auditability, and record keeping. I mean, that's the future. And that was always what I thought would be the future. It took a lot longer than I anticipated, but you never guess the timing. But the potential here is massive. And I think it's great that we have competition. And if I were a Canadian bank right now, I'd start ponying up pretty fast to what's going on here and find ways to partner with these platforms because they are so far advanced in the amount of money they've spent on tech and platform.
WonderFi itself, let's talk a little bit about the company itself. And as you said, we're talking to the shareholders here. Obviously, this stock has weathered some extreme volatility along with some of the crypto markets over the past couple of years. What do you want to say to shareholders? What do you want them to understand, not only about this deal, but the timing? Why now?
Well, I'm not management of the company. I am a shareholder. I'm one of the earliest ones. And I think you have to look at opportunity as they come and decide when do you join forces with a behemoth that can provide you with the R&D and the platform that maybe is more difficult to finance in the Canadian market. Is any timing perfect? I have no idea. And I certainly had no idea this was coming other than just being a shareholder. And so, I trust the management there. I have since the beginning. That's why I bet on them in the first place. They went through a real difficult consolidation and lots of turmoil in the boardroom. And that's just the way nascent companies are. That's who you back. You back entrepreneurs and you never know the outcome. I'm pretty happy with this outcome, frankly, as a shareholder. But I hedge my bets. I own them all. I mean, if you're going to own one exchange, why don't you own them all? Because you don't know what's going to happen as the different regulatory environments change policy or which one is more successful in consolidation. And, I'll continue my support for WonderFi through my ownership in Robinhood. And that's just the way it rolls. And I'm okay with it. I mean, I want exposure to the best, and I wish the best for the management and all the other shareholders. But obviously, you're making a bet when you own a stock like this with the volatility it has in this sector. And, all of the ups and downs we've been through, whether it be on the asset volatility and value, that's Bitcoin, or whether it's in the regulatory environment, back and forth and up and down. But I still believe that if we talk about this in 4 or 5 years, that crypto will be the 12th sector of the S&P because it's so powerful in two aspects, productivity and cost savings. And that's where we're going. And I think U.S. regulators and Canadian regulators see the merit of it, and they will continue to guide this technology back into domestic markets. Right now, the most advanced developments going on in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Why isn't it in the U.S. and Canada? Well, it's up to regulators to decide.
Hey, Kevin, Sharif with you here. Great to speak to you again. I want to ask you a couple of questions. Firstly, about the how this deal came together. Was it more of a strategic courtship, or was there some necessity involved, given the state of brokerages and crypto firms in Canada?
What I've learned about this space, it's rife with rumor and innuendo. I mean, there was no question that every exchange was talking to every exchange, and every asset that was being built or had been left out of the consolidation was in narrative. I mean, that's just the nature of a maturing market. And so, what ultimately the board decided to do, and my guess would be, and I'm speculating here, they had multiple opportunities. I mean, they could have gone in other directions if they wished. That's just, that's the nature of the crypto market. What I find so interesting, and I spend a fair amount of my time here in the U.S. and in Washington, D.C., working with policymakers like Haggerty. If you go to Washington any week, you're going to find the same 25 leaders in this industry rotating through the halls of the Hill. They're talking to senators and members of Congress. I don't think we have a physical border. I know Canada right now and the U.S. are in a tiff. There's no question about that. But when it comes to crypto, that border doesn't really exist. And so you find companies on both sides. Innovation has no home. It just has the path of least resistance on policy. And so I'm optimistic now, frankly, that Canada is going to take a leadership role here in actually crafting U.S. policy. And that may sound a little strange, but the OSC has done such a phenomenal job of, guiding the crypto industry that they're a little bit of a model for the U.S. to look at. Because I've always suspected, and this is just a personal opinion, that the OSC has been used on almost like a petri dish by the SEC. Let's try it in Canada and see what happens. Let them have a Bitcoin ETF and see if there's price discovery works and there's not a lot of market tracking error. Let's let them do the same thing in Ethereum. And when we see it work in Canada, let's adopt it in the US. That's exactly what happened.
That's a great segue for my next question, Kevin, because I was going to ask you about the fragmented nature of the regulator, the financial regulators in this country. Each province has its own, no federal umbrella like we have in the United States with the SEC. Does that pose a challenge for Robinhood and their scale at all costs kind of approach?
I think, you're bringing a very important point up, the blue skying at the provincial level. I understand that and have forever as a participant investor in the markets. But I think the cooperation, this new theme across Canada that the new Prime Minister's brought in of cooperation across provinces and the reduction of tariffs between the provinces. I mean, you couldn't till recently buy BC wine in the LCBO. I think you have to allow that now because there's no American wine in there. And I think that's the kind of thing that's going to press regulators at the provincial level to start thinking about a federal platform, very much akin to the SEC across regulations in all the U.S. states. And I think that would be a good thing. Staying out of the politics, I think Carney is a pretty smart guy. I mean, he's not like the last guy. I mean, I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but the last guy was an idiot. And so we have a much better manager, whether you like his politics or you don't. I've respected him for years, and I think the rest of the world has. And you may not like one thing or another, but he's not stupid when it comes to financial markets and financial products and systems and integration and productivity. So let's just see how this plays out. I'm pretty optimistic.
Kevin, this has been an incredible bounce back, not only for equities, but Bitcoin right back up as well, back above that 100,000 mark at this point and continuing. Just to wrap up here quickly, what are you excited about here in the next couple of months, generally speaking, on a macro level for both equities and crypto?
Well, I am excited about getting this trade stuff worked out and a deal with China worked out. And as you've seen, and you guys watch this by the hour, we've come all the way back from April 3rd and then some. So this volatility, you could look at it as being negative, or if you're a trader, it was a great opportunity. My goodness, some of these stocks like Nvidia have been phenomenal trading opportunities, even Tesla, 41% from the lows. Or any of the tech stocks. I mean, what we need to get is a final decision on what the EU deal looks like between the EU and the US, what the Canada deal looks like, the Mexico deal, the UK deal, the India deal. And you're starting to see some of that. My own opinion is what's really going on here is there's going to be a flat reciprocal tariff of about 10%, I think, between most countries in the US. And in effect, what Trump did is impose a VAT tax, because this is a consumption tax, no matter how you cut it when you put tariffs on. But it's so unpopular, the idea of VAT tax in the US Congress, that he's just kind of disguised it and called it a tariff. But most countries' economies, including Canada's, can exist with a VAT tax between 7 and 14%. So when things settle down, supply chains will work this out, margins will be split, some prices will go up. But I think it's a 10 on 10 on 10 on 10 everywhere. And we'll probably get there in the next, 6 months, because Trump has a time bomb in the midterm elections. He's got to clean all this up before he faces re-election, or he'll lose his majority mandate. And so I'm optimistic on that. And, not to be so serious about everything, the other thing I'm excited about is watches, obviously. And since I last saw you guys, I want to show you what I'm featuring today at the conference here in New York. But I want to tell you about the rumor of this. I'm showing you 2 Cartier watches. This watch is the Crash. This is a legendary piece. Came out in the 60s. Right?
You got Sean's interest.
Okay, the Crash is made of platinum. It's the skeleton Crash. How many are in America? Maybe this is the only one. Here on the left-hand side is a platinum Santos called the Reverse. It actually tells time in reverse. It's going back. It's very hard to understand why they would have made this watch, other than when it got announced to the world, the few pieces got snapped up by collectors in seconds. But here's the rumor that came out recently. Because these are both platinum, and one of them goes backwards in time, supposedly, if you hold them together and you click them 3 times and they touch each other, start to reverse in age. Now, I've been too nervous to do that, but I'm not kidding. This rumor's out there. Either that, or you turn into a vampire. We don't know.
Is there a downside? I don't know.
Santos and Crash. That's it right there. And look at how beautiful that is. That is made with a stone dial. It's going backwards, and the Crash. I'm going to wear it at the conference today. These are the sexiest watches in New York right now. I'm very happy to have them. But is the myth a reality? Who knows?
We'll wait and see. Always great insight. Kevin O'Leary, we appreciate you doing this on very short notice. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
I want to try that live. I want to see the vampire. I want to see that go down. But thank you, Kevin. I
Backwards.
The Crash had that unique form factor there. That was pretty interesting.
Looks amazing.
That was great. I was going to ask Kevin about more companies maybe holding Bitcoin on their balance sheet and things like that, and what he thought about that moving forward, because I think that's another sort of boon to the crypto market here, with Tesla apparently nearing 10,000 Bitcoin on their balance sheet, as well. As we know, Block has some there, and then all the big ones, Coinbase, and so on.
You know what else is next? Which I would actually,
something called strategy, Michael.
No, foreign governments investing in stablecoins in USD. That is the whole. Well, you know what? You're hoarding US dollars. You gotta. We want you buying US things, or we want you storing it. I'm telling you, man. Some of it's gonna go into crypto. Some of it's gonna go into stable coins in USD. Just by the way, Robinhood is a beast here today, which hopefully everyone gets a chance to see. This one can break out and maybe get to its highs very, very quickly. 52-week highs. Looks like it's gonna be fantastic for them. Yeah, the crypto story is definitely not done. The only thing that I have a little bit of just today for the trade, everybody, try to remember, the market is green. A lot of things have gapped up and are breaking out, and much like a couple of days ago, you're getting a little bit of lag in Bitcoin. Bitcoin itself is still got some resistance from the 105 zone up. So I think we need to break away from this 105 spot, and then we can start to be all clear. Otherwise, yesterday, the 58.5 dip buy, that's the one trade I had, and I'm thinking the same thing, because Bitcoin, for whatever reason, it's just lagging a little bit, and the exuberance is going into other places while we sort of test these recent highs. And it's been a great run for Bitcoin. It's just, sometimes you have a great run, you run into a little bit of resistance, and you hold up a little bit, which is natural, but until we check through a 105, I think you got to play the dip buys on BTC. That didn't just spike. That was just a dark pool print there. Just making sure we didn't have a 40 cent jump there, and I did. Just a dark pool print. But yeah, Bitcoin, probably more of a dip buy than anything today.
All right. Yeah, we're really excited. I mean, great news from the Saudis yesterday. Thank you to have Kevin O'Leary. Thank you for coming on there. Thanks to Sharif and Brendan for that. That was a lot of fun. Hopefully next time we'll be able to bring him over here and talk some more stocks, individual stocks and things like that. But great question there at the end for Brendo. As we look forward to more deals, he looks forward to more watch talk, and we'll do some of that next time. But for right now, we have a guest that well, he's almost ready. Going to be familiar with. We have Rahim Alani from OCI Group coming through again in just a matter of seconds. And it is a jam-packed, action-packed morning. We'll talk to Rahim for a couple minutes,
and then
see what he's saying. He has some opinions on the crypto space as well. So it is going to be a crypto morning as Bitcoin up to 104. Let me just quickly check as we wait on Rahim. He's just getting all fancy-like over there. So hold on a second. Let me just see what's going on in the crypto space. So yesterday we were over 3.5 trillion. Looks like we're under that a little bit today. Ethereum 26. I mean, that's the highest I've seen it so far. Every time we call it up, it's around this area. So that's a good little level there for Ethereum. XRP, man, that army just keeps on pushing forward. So we're really happy with the way that's moving around. We're also happy with Solana's movement, again, up 4%. One more time there. Dogecoin up, Cardano up. These are all 24 hours, right? So things looking still upside here, even in some of these altcoins as we continue to move forward. You know, Ripple's a good one there, as Kevin was talking about, you know, payments and transferring money over. I know that's what XRP and Ripple are very known to be doing. So that's a good one there. And look at the market cap starting to pick up as well here. Despite Ethereum's 42% move, if XRP had stayed there, you know, we were getting closer and closer here to maybe a number 2 taking over, but still double away from there. So yeah, there's some of those stable coins, Tether and USDC. So they also do hold the key. If those can remain where they are, that does allow for easier money transfer, as Kevin was saying, from one wallet to another. Just consider that like cash. And if more people can think that way, then it does make that easier. And that's why I think the Robinhood, sort of that transfer from one account to another, and just how easy that is, and not filling out all the tax forms and all the regulatory there. I think that's very important. So I like Robinhood today. I like many of these names. I saw someone say something about Micron.
Yeah, there's some bad news on Micron here before we get up to the desk. It's just like they're at the JPM conference and they didn't update their guidance. And so that's being seen as a disappointment. That's the headline. Micron did not update their guidance at the JPM conference, which is something you got to think about because of all the chips, with investment coming in and with the deals getting struck. I remember when ARM reported their guidance was terrible. It was the same day that the deals, that the tariffs were going down, bless you. The tariffs were going down, and you wanted to see that updated guidance from all these firms for the better environment that we're expecting. So when you don't get that, I think it's going to be bad news. So with that, we're only down a couple of points here, but obviously different from the rest of the market.
Here comes Randy.
Now we've got our next guest locked and loaded, ready to go, and we've got our coffees. We can sit back, relax, and listen to Rahim. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you, Randy.
I want coffee now. Everybody has coffee. This guy has coffee. They have coffee. I don't have any coffee. Hi. Next. Rahim's here. The crypto chat continues around here this morning. Let's start just with this WonderFi deal in general, and you know, give me your thoughts as far as the Canadian market is concerned. I mean, this has been a flagship, you know, in this market for, as I was saying, got to go back to 2021 to see it.
Yeah, you put together teams of, you know, CoinSmart and BitBuy and all these things that WonderFi amalgamated. And like our friend Kevin O'Leary just said moments ago, Canada has been a bit of a petri dish. It's try these things out here, see if they work, bring them into the U.S. And Canada's done a really good job of amalgamating these assets and building kind of a nice story that they built here. My friend at CoinSmart, Justin, he had built a good business, got it into WonderFi. So it was a nice platform for them to build together. In terms of valuation, I think Robinhood got a good deal, and it sets them a nice little place here in Canada.
Yeah, we'll look forward to having a name like a Robinhood available in this country. You brought a few names with you. Interesting. I mean, it's a really interesting time, I think, for this market. Back above, you know, 100,000 and then some here for Bitcoin and continuing. Yeah. There's all kinds of different mining ideas we can have a look at. This is HUD 8. I went out to a weekly chart here just to kind of compare to the WonderFi chart. You know, they're very similar in, you know, price action, but the business is very different.
Yeah, no, I think so. Yeah, they're two separate businesses, of course. WonderFi is more on the execution side. HUT is going to be on the holding of coin side as well as transactional speed. But I think to your greater and larger point is what's happening in the States with regard to the adoptance and prevalence of crypto, and that's taking place into other countries as well. You're seeing strong moves into these crypto names that you might not have seen as much 6, 9, 12, 18 months ago. And so Hut 8, that's the one that Eric Trump has joined as whatever his role is there. But American Bitcoin is the company that he's involved in, which is a subsidiary of Hut 8. They just announced that they are spinning that off into Griffin Digital, that the ticker is going to be GRYP there in the US. So that's going to be a play that you can take advantage of the American Bitcoin, Trump attachment to it, as well as Hut 8 being the service provider on the back end to them.
Let's go on to Galaxy here, GLXY, another one. Is this dual listed? They have an OTC?
They would have an OTC name, but they just announced, I think it was just yesterday, that they're going to be going onto the NASDAQ boards. So they have revenue of about $13 billion. It is a stalwart name in the space, and so that's a name. Again, if you're going to be in the U.S. trading, that's a name that's going to be coming available to the larger audience there. So I thought that might be interesting for everyone to take a look at.
The chart looks great. I mean, right back to this $30 level here that's a daily chart for Galaxy.
Yeah, 11 to 35 on the 52 weeks. So
exactly,
up there.
Exactly. If you want to talk a little bit about lower priced opportunities, WHIP. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, so WHIP, Credit Essential. If you look at that, it's a smaller name. It's gone as high as you can see on the chart there, as high as over $1, all the way down to $0.015. So it's a name that's got a lot of volatility for obvious reasons in the space, but they are now being accretive. They announced a couple of acquisitions, CoinComply, they're doing that. They have a deal with Antenna. So they're putting a few things together, and the stock price, again, it's a lower price name, but it's moved up from $0.015 to 5 cents here. So if you can make 150, 200%, that's not a bad thing. On some decent volume, they are putting a couple million shares a day. So that's a name, if you're looking at that long-term chart, that might be a name that could get back up into better levels for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many opportunities here. SOL, there's SPIR is another one as well. Let's go to Sol Global Investments as well.
Yeah, that's a name that just jumped on the Solana bandwagon for sure. They were into multiple businesses before that. I think we've talked about them before. But in the last couple of months, the stock did go back down from a low of 5, 6 cents up into the 30s and 40s on the back of Solana procurement, raised a big financing. That name is very much tied to the Solana brand, and so the stock has come off of all crypto things, but I think you'll start to see a move back up on that one. If Solana moves, that thing's going to go right with it.
Just to kind of bookend this a little bit, from a market perspective in general, as Kevin alluded to, and you mentioned, to start this off, we've been kind of the petri dish for what they wanted to try out and then kind of adopt that into their market. Does having a Hut 8 in the Canadian market give us a little more credibility, for lack of a better word?
Yeah, no, I think the fact that we have better success stories, because Canada has been a petri dish for cannabis, for mushrooms, for blockchain, for crypto. We have been that, let's try it here, because we do have similar rules of law. We have similarness when it comes to all things across securities and across exchanges. So the fact that we do have some really good success stories, I think will bode well for the fact that we can continue to try those things here, but also allow us a prevalence where you can talk to an investor in the US and saying, just like if you talk to somebody in the States saying TD is actually a Canadian bank.
Right.
No one knows that. It's TD Gardens in Boston,
exactly.
right? And so hopefully with the prevalence of Canadian companies, really strong management, we have a lot of smart people here. So hopefully we'll have some companies that will take that next step where people will invest in the US, not even realizing that you don't have to be a Canadian company. And especially with crypto, you're going to be global companies all over the world.
Yeah. As Kevin said as well, I mean, we'll wait to see what the regulators do with this, and if this deal gets passed, I'm sure it will, at this point. So,
yeah.
Great stuff. Rahim Alani, Managing Director over at OCI Group. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Double barrel action today, this morning, and another great guest. We always appreciate Rahim coming through, giving you some names that you might not be as familiar with oftentimes, which is where a lot of times the opportunity is. Now, obviously, if anyone's watching right now, AMD has announced a new 6 billion share repurchase authorization. It's now up 6%. Just add it to the list of things which are looking incredibly bullish today. I mean, look, just on the fly here, AMD now breaking out of the March resistance, and this is not a ridiculously unimportant level. This was also the August 2024 low, and then where the curl happened. Like this is where it spun to the downside to make these fresh lows. Those April lows was off the 117.5. So you get this buyback or share repurchase authorization, and we're breaking it out above 117.50. And I'm throwing this one on the list. And you don't really look at so many things, but you didn't know this was going to happen on AMD till now. So the prior high, actually the pre-market high, lines up with that level on the daily. So AMD suddenly the leader of all the chips. Well, SMCI is up bigger percentage-wise, but volume aplenty here on AMD. It's kind of chopping around this 120, a little bit of sizing here. I'd expect with the market rolling a little bit back in, should be some dip buy opportunities off the bump.
All right, thanks, Raheem, for coming through one more time. Yeah, Nvidia obviously not doing anything, as that's going to be an AMD-specific story there as it's starting to go. Just finishing up the sticky note there as we're listening and making sure that we paid attention to our guests. So I'll be out just momentarily. But yeah, we have our watch list. Make sure you do scan the QR code there to get e-signal. But the watch list now out as well. We're going to be going over that. I've got Nvidia, the Qs. They got Big Bear AI. Let me see what that's doing right now quickly on that one. SMCI continues to climb, 46.70 right now as well. Neil brought it up at 19%. How does 20% sound right now? This market is, although doesn't look like it's blasting right here on the NASDAQ, if anything, we're touching and testing VWAP right now to the downside. So this market's going to be a tricky one for me today. I'm going to be perfectly honest at this point to start, because there are some names that are going one way and some names that are going the other. And it's just a matter, well, now Apple's starting to go back upside. Or no, not. It's just a matter of trying to pick which direction you're feeling, what this market's going to do. And I don't know what the catalysts are. Like that AMD just came out of nowhere, right?
Absolutely
so
nowhere.
Now we got to add that sort of to the sandbox here and see what we want to do there. I'd like to probably play a dip instead of this rip, but yeah, nice move up to 120. As you said, the low of AMD a month and a half ago is $76. So you're at 120 now. I think we're getting a little carried away, in my opinion.
Like the RSIs on all these are probably a little bit intense right now.
I don't even.
Like I'm thinking, and pretty sure Nvidia got to 60, but I don't know about AMD. But like just to your point, before we go back to the desk here, because we're getting on in time. Like add Microsoft to the list of things that's down 0.5%, and the Nasdaq is actually threatening a little bit that we could go red at the open on the overall market. We're losing the bid on the Nasdaq while SMCI and AMD are going.
No, but it's like Nasdaq up 23% from the lows. I mean, I just want to say, like, who wants to buy Nasdaq up 23%? I mean, a lot of people do. But maybe it is due for a little bit of a pullback. And I say this as we're still up on the day, and we're up pretty good, 0.2%. So, all right. Thank you so much. Yeah, look, Bears versus Bulls, we got to get through some of this. Anybody that super chatted us, we will get to some of those super chats, but we have a list to go through right now. So make sure you do pay attention. We're going to go through our rundown, and then we'll try to get to some of those super chats as we go. So let's go back over to the desk to Brendan and Sharif.
All right, we'll jump into the market here and get going.
59.03, guys. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES June contract. So we did breach that 5,900 point level, which is obviously an important 100 point level resistance. The overnight high, 59.24. So we're above it right now, 5,900 by about 12 points, trading at 59.12. We're going to try to use 5,900 as resistance. If we give it up, we're going to look to that 75 point area, 58.75 as the next level. Otherwise, now, Brendo, we're looking at that 6,000 point area as resistance.
Sorry, what? If you haven't done so yet, as always, jump down to the description of this video. Top link in the description will get you to the sign up page. Grab the watch list. It's absolutely free, comes right to your inbox every single morning. Again, if you haven't done that, make sure you take some time. Let's go. There's so many things to look at here this morning. I mean, Tesla just in my ear here. Yeah, 2.5% already. We'll get to Tesla in a second. Let's start with SMCI. Monster gap to the upside here. Tell us why, Sharif.
Brendo, this thing's up 20% and we haven't even rung the bell yet. Here's the deal, guys. They unveiled a $20 billion deal with the Saudi Arabia's data vault. So Supermicro SMCI is going to supply them with high-density GPU platforms and rack scale liquid cooling systems. That's what they get involved in. This is obviously targeting the hyperscalers, etc., in Saudi Arabia. And just to give you an idea here, DataVolt CEO basically credited this deal to Donald Trump. The strategic impact here, Brendo, is that they guarantee U.S.-made GPUs for their supply chain, and Supermicro obviously interested in expanding internationally.
I mean, this is 2 days on, you can see it on that chart as well, like just absolutely insane. In 2 days, this thing's up better part of $20, guys, SMCI.
God.
It's an
All right, we're talking to Raheem Alani about sports.
I'll tell you this right now. The only thing more ridiculously impressive than the luck, and I air quote luck, that the Dallas Mavericks have for getting the #1 pick in the NBA, air quotes luck, is SMCI up just 20%. It's still going. It's an absolute, like you're definitely in that squeeze zone for sure. Above, first it was 38, but now above what was the last resistance
there's a
zone
mic
at 42
still on
and a half.
somewhere.
I can still hear Brendo. So if we can get, I don't want to buy any of these highs today. Like yesterday, it was a story of so many things broke out instantaneously and then continue to rally. Now, I cannot remember a situation, I don't care what type of market you're in, where you get that and then you gap and it's already looking as strong as the day before, what took us all day to do. That's not an open level that I'd want to buy. Like when I sat down and was like, yeah, SMCI, I mean, like that prior high, 42 to 42 and a half was what I was thinking. So if you lose VWAP, I think you're gapping to that. That said, I don't even know if I paid for locates on SMCI today. It would probably have to get to insert daily chart. Yeah, there's not much. 51, I suppose. Like that would be a little bit.
You did pay for them. I saw them.
Oh, I did. Okay, good. I don't always remember whether I do because I do it pretty early, but 51 before I think about that. So 42 and a half and VWAP are the only two places that I want to look. And now all of a sudden AMD's got my attention as well, which makes it a little bit more tricky to be active on SMCI.
Look, a $20 billion multi-year partnership. I mean, let's go. Like that's what you want. $20 billion. So, yeah, SMCI right now. What a year they've had, man. I mean, up and down and around, and now up again, up 20%. Congratulations, anybody that kept playing, you know, especially yesterday's momentum and then now into today. So, you know, Donald Trump is doing wonders for all of these guys, man. I mean, going over there, speaking, and congratulations. Trump was one. I mean, what a call on buying the market that this man told everybody to do. Like, if you had bought that day on SMCI, you're long $30, man. It's at 47 right now. So what a call to buy this market as they roadshow all of these companies. I think more deals are to come. So yeah, it's going to be a big move there. Short, 22% short float. This name probably keeps going. I always say when there's a gap, you play it back to VWAP. Shout out to Brian Shannon on that one. And I think that $45 would be a great spot to wait for this name if you can. If not, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with going long small now, but as Neil said, you're already up 21%. You know, to fade back in is a possibility. I think anybody that went long yesterday might be coming in today and being like, I'll take it. There you go. That's a split. You know, I'll take that move. So I could see it fade back. I don't think we get into this 42 area again, but that's a good buy. Anything into here where we've already seen these tops. So yeah, $43, $44 for SMCI is a great little buy level. VWAP right now sitting at 45. So we got to agree with that. If it comes back in, I definitely think worth taking a look at. I don't want to sit on the bid because I don't want that falling knife action in case there is a big sell. AMD is not on the board, but I'm just going to talk about this quickly because it's going higher as we speak right now. So there it goes. It just broke through 120, and AMD now off to the races, up 7% on the $6 billion share buyback. So yeah, man, we don't know where to put your money, put it in the company, and that's what's happening right now. So there goes AMD up to one. They're not doing it right now, I assume, but there's traders doing it right now, buying this name up into 121 and higher goes AMD. All right, another strong name, Tesla on the board. Let's go figure out what that story is all about.
Yeah, a couple of things to understand here this morning for Tesla. I just saw this as well. The forever bull, Danny Ive, sounding a little bit cautious with Tesla's future hinging on autonomy. That's That's new for Dan Ives specifically. He always has price target increases and bullishness to talk about for Tesla.
Speaking of autonomy, Brendo, you got the federal regulator asking Tesla a bunch of questions about the robo-taxi coming up. So the TSA is demanding answers from Tesla on how its upcoming robo-taxis will safely navigate low visibility conditions. Brendo, specifically, they're looking at fog, sun, glare, and rain because camera systems only on these Teslas. We know they don't use LiDAR. The inquiry follows an incident involving Tesla's existing driver assistance systems under similar conditions. The key launch date, guys, Tesla's first robo-taxi rollout, still slated for June 1st in Austin, Texas as a part of the Project Rodeo, despite these regulatory pressures. And here's what's being tested. Around 300 operators are reportedly testing Tesla's autonomous software. They're also training with local first responders so we don't have that debacle that happened in San Francisco in the final testing phases of the robo-taxi app as well that are underway. And Elon Musk's made bold claims. He does that from time to time, Brendo. Musk promises users will be able to go to sleep in the car and then wake up at your destination. He expects robo-taxi service to be in many U.S. cities by the end of the year.
Sign me up. I cannot wait. There's this as well. We mentioned it right off the top. Parts, specifically parts coming from China, going to help ramp up both the Cybercab and semi-truck production, guys, for Tesla.
I wish I could have grabbed a quick nap from my home to my daughter's baseball last night because it was like, I was like in the house, quickly eat something, and then get back out. I'm like, oh, just give me like a 15-minute like little break nap. That would be fantastic. Make it happen, Elon. Or hey, make it happen. Make it happen. Uber. Make it happen. Anybody. Make it happen. Google. I still have some shares of that too. Look, Tesla. We're getting on in time here, so try to keep it like relatively simple. The gap from yesterday, it got going late and was relatively weak early. So I think a lot of patience if we lose the volume weighted average price here. Prior highs 336 area, and then 330. I kind of like 330 as well, but those are the two spots. I think this move has room to 360. But yesterday told you this was the one stock that was not even remotely clean on its move to the upside. It required a lot of patience in the morning, like Bitcoin. So I think you have to have a little bit of that today, and just wait for it to possibly come back in here, because we haven't really had that on this move recently. Like there hasn't been any really big, nasty down day on Tesla, but there have been the little hold the low or the trend down type of play before you go rallying.
Look, yesterday, everybody, we were long, as you noticed, we were long at 318. We had that very bottom. We had 318. It goes out at 334, 332 with the high of 337. So it gave $20 off of that bottom, and it didn't look like it was going to be doing much until it eventually did, right? And so very, very choppy off the open. And how did we find that level? We just went back to the day before and tried to find out where could there possibly have been some support. And then it showed us a little bit there at the open with that bottom wick coming in right there at 930 down to 317. So I feel like the same similar trade here today. I just don't know if Tesla comes back in. We're up 3% right now. So I would say if we look back, I just sort of zoom back out, see what yesterday's chart looks like. And that looks to me like a 335 to 336 bottom, something in here where we could absorb some shares. And I just think if you do get pulled back into that level, I think that's a buy. And I'm waiting to do that. The Nasdaq's fluttering with going red. It just got a little bit of a bump, but we are just getting close to that VWAP and trying to break it. So if you're going to look for a short in Tesla, why not let it get back up to 345 and see what winds up happening? It touched up there for about 10 minutes and couldn't break it. Again, the volume's pretty strong in the pre-market on Tesla. If it wanted to break it, it could have. And right now it's just flirting with volume-weighted average price. So, you know, I think if you're going to wait for the short, wait to see what happens up there, because you don't want to go now and then it rips that face off and then you're a $3 or $4 loser, which is fine if you can handle that. But that to me is what I'd be waiting for, is either the short up there or we'll wait to get long somewhere in here, because it's flirting with these pre-market bottoms. So even if we break this 342, do we go to 340? That's where the 200 period moving average is, right? So yeah, I would rather it break this, because I'm not bearish on this, so I don't want to go short rate this second, and then get into some support areas of the high 330s. So that's kind of the play right there. And here's what I was talking about with the NASDAQ. We did come back in and just hit VWAP before bouncing back up. So one more test there and a break, and I don't think it's great news. There's the high. So there's the first high, you know, lower, lower. So we're making lower highs right now. We can draw a nice little line here, but we don't need to do that because it's quite clear. A break of VWAP, but I think we're in trouble. So for me on Tesla right now, it's it's looking great. And I like the long, but I'd rather have it a few points lower.
All right, let's go on to Nvidia and AMD once again leading the way here so far this morning, pre-market anyways. 2.8% here for Nvidia. AMD lagging a little bit, but not anymore. 120 just got taken out there for AMD. I sat down this morning, it wasn't even up as much as Nvidia.
That's a beautiful looking chart.
Wow.
Brendo. And likely as a result of what is happening right now in the Middle East. So let's talk about the Trump administration has formally rescinded, as we spoke about yesterday, that AI diffusion rule, a controversial export control from the Biden era that limited AI chip sales abroad. The Commerce Department said the rule would have stifled innovation and strained alliances and also hurt U.S. competitiveness without actually restricting China in any effective way. So Nvidia, AMD, Intel, other chip makers all applauded the move. Nvidia released a statement saying, this is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to lead the next industrial revolution. We know countries like Saudi, UAE, Singapore, and Israel, which were previously restricted now, have been cleared to access U.S. advanced chips. How about China, though? It remains blocked. The U.S. reaffirmed its stance that Huawei Ascend chips violate U.S. export controls. And Daiwa's Rick Su noted Huawei's chips are only sold domestically and already face massive demand limitations. So what's next here, Brendo? We're going to get a country-by-country export control framework, which is supposedly in the works. This could leave some uncertainty for other nations not explicitly cleared. We'll have to wait, get more information on that.
Apologies, guys, if you mentioned this already. Here's why AMD is up. $6 billion share repurchase program comes through. 7.5 right now for AMD.
Yeah, that's it. Look, it kind of puts AMD on. You didn't know it was going to happen. They just dropped that this morning, so you didn't know that this was going to be moving a heck of a lot more than Nvidia right now. Nvidia's got the 3-day kind of like up gap move thing going for it too, where you usually expect some selling off of the open, and that could bring you all the way, being prior high sitting at the 131 level for Nvidia. So I would be a wait till there. Like, it's under VWAP, the market's bouncing off VWAP. AMD is absolutely flying. We'll also 121 now on AMD. So we just keep getting further and further away from that prior 117.5 being a thing on AMD and getting a chance to pull back into prior highs on the daily. But as long as it's above there, I'm looking for longs on dips on AMD. And whether that ends up being VWAP or it ends up actually being the support level we like from that daily level, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm not gonna buy these highs though at the open, that's for sure.
Yeah, look, I have, if we're going to talk about Nvidia, let's just do that real quick. I mean, we talked about AMD a little bit already today, obviously. I have Nvidia here at 130 to 130 long. Obviously, the Saudis are looking to buy, which I wrote down there. So let's help and get long, right? Yesterday was a good trade. We'll see if there's any dip buy opportunities getting into yesterday's close, which is what we're looking for. So right there, yesterday's close equals key. Right there. So we'll see if we can get down into 131. That's where I'm looking for. You can go find some trade ideas there. But yeah, here comes Nvidia. Nice move. I mean, you know, the shiny thing in the cabinet is going to be AMD today. But I think Nvidia not to be, you know, forgotten about. There was the close yesterday. We did have a little bit of a down push. So I just looking, again, if to say we're doing the same work that we did on Tesla. There's 131 into 130. I like the dip buy opportunities. I'm not sure about the rip through this level. I feel better about ripping Tesla upside than Nvidia today, just because I think that there could be a lot looking at AMD and maybe not the buying pressure here in Nvidia. But that 134.25, I mean, you could use that right now as the break and give yourselves back down to 133.50. That's where VWAP is and the day's bottom. So it's only 5 minutes to go or until the market opens and 1 minute until these imbalances. So we can just wait to see what winds up happening there. But you could use, like, if we take 134.50, which is pretty much that high right there, 134.25, then you just use this as your out. And that gives you 75 cents worth of room. So if you push a couple shares there, a good opportunity to make a little bit of money, especially if this AI trade continues through. I mean, SMCI and Nvidia and AMD, both. We've already talked about them all, but I'm just saying the sector right now is blasting and Nvidia is only up 2%. So there is some get up going over there. But okay, before we throw it back, I know we're running out of time. I just want to show you what those imbalances are because they just came out right now. And not much, man. AMD there with a sell actually a sell side imbalance, giving that a little bit of a push downside there. There it is moving up to the upside there. It's still not that many shares, right? AMD's done 6 million, and Nvidia also with the sell. So some chip names getting some sell side action. All right, let's go over and talk about something called Lucy.
Back down right now, but we're holding on to $3. Lots of people interested in this one early on this morning after a big move after the close yesterday.
I'm just excited. A small cap gapper made it onto the list here, Brendo. Let's talk about this one. So it's float of 17.3 million shares. Brendo was nice enough to find the short float for me, 13.5%. This one is an earnings winner. As you saw, they were gapped up at 4:30 yesterday. There was a report 19% increase in Q1 2025 revenue and 49% gross margins. It's still well below that pre-market high, Brendo, at 375. So it's got to clear that for me.
Yeah, well, watch with interest here, guys. I mean, UNH was a bit of a story yesterday that we talked about as well. It is back above that pre-market high, trying to get back above 320 and hold, but not a lot of interest right now anyways for UNH.
It's not bad. It's finally catching a bit of a bid, so this would be day one of attempting to hold, but I think you still, for me, I think you still need to let it settle down a little bit here. As far as the day trade goes, it is an SSR day two play, so it's obviously you fall as much as they do. There's no question it's going to be short sell restricted. So that all the usual caveats. If it goes into the prior low, mean reversion play would be the only look I'd have in UNH. And I still would like to see it make a higher low, at least hold the same level for a couple of days without making a fresh bottom before considering this the low on UNH. Just because it bounced 4%, it's not enough for me to say it's over for them. So the only play I'm looking for would be a false break, and then
We're talking about Lucy, but that's okay.
I know. Well,
yeah, I know.
I don't have any for Lucy. I just don't see it as it's underneath the volume weighted average price and trending down. So unless it can, I'd rather see it break the high and then play some pullbacks on it. But I never like to see that downward trend under VWAP and then want to have it at the open. Usually that means it's going to be a setup for later in the day.
Yeah, sorry, I just didn't know. Yesterday we had it, we were like, what are we doing with those last two names? I do want to thank David here, 10 memberships. Thank you so much to David for once again hitting that up for us right now. So thank you so much, David, for that one. All right, I did say that we would get to some kind of super chats right here. So yeah, we talked about the watch. Can you mention the meme coin real estate thing to Kevin? Well, we didn't get a chance, but I know Mr. Westermeyer is doing some real estate deals and accepting altcoins for that. Very, very risky business. Up to you, man. I would just say as soon as they go into your wallet, change them into USDC cash, and don't worry about it. Alibaba, Lucy and Alibaba. They're in Walmart earnings, long or short at Sean. Okay, we'll have to. Walmart earnings. When are Walmart earnings? Didn't they already happen? All right, I'll look at Alibaba and Walmart for you, Nikhil. We only have 1 minute to go right now, but I do thank you for that super chat. I like Walmart long. I'd rather stay away from Alibaba. The Chinese stuff to me is just a little bit too mind-blowing right now. It's too headline based. I would stay away. I think Walmart works no matter what the economy is. A lot of employees, a lot of consumers have traded down also to go to Walmart, right? I mean, it's just with their food business over there, it's been a good one. Good morning, Sean and Neil. Do you think coin will continue its upside trend? No, not really. I want to look over here. I think they got a good bump yesterday. Again, we had crypto going over the weekend, plus we got that good news from BitBuy and WonderFi and all that.
Well,
and
S&P edition too. Usually they sell it.
Well, that's the other thing, and then the bump up from the S&P. Yeah, good call there. I kind of forgot about that as a move higher there yesterday, and why it moved. The catalyst is the word I'm looking for. There's Coinbase. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. When you have a big move like that, can it continue? Yeah, for sure. And you're getting up to those levels. I think the high for Coinbase could be in and around, and I don't think it's rocket science. We've hit $300 a couple times. That's a nice downside play. I remember when Coinbase IPO'd, I think it was at 350, 360, which turns out to be its recent highs. So, all right, man, only 30 seconds left. I mean, my eyes are glued on my number one trade idea today, which is going to be Nvidia. It's dipping down a little bit. I am bidding Nvidia 131. I don't know if we get there. Big Bear AI back down to $4 right now, so we'll watch out for that. I have Robinhood on the mind. I'm bidding some 60. Okay, well, Robinhood might come in right now. Trying to bid some 62s on Robinhood as well. But here we go. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
we're a little late on the countdown, so Adara, ring it right about now, because hump day has started.
sure
The market is open. The party, hopefully, that has been this market is going to continue here. So, by the way, Oklo reported, and I just saw that they broke out on the daily and broke out some highs. But SMCI already falling in rather heavily. So yeah, SMCI apparently it is able to go down. See, look at that.
Yeah,
And go to the downside. Nvidia is starting to come back in. Tesla's starting to come back in. AMD as well. Where'd you go, AMD? I'm sitting in front of the. It's where it broke out from. Prior pre-market highs, 117.5. I do have a bid in there to see if we can't get picked up. SMCI wanted 42.5. Doesn't seem to want to get there at all. So initial dip on a few things, but the Nasdaq actually bounced at the open.
Yep, yeah, the Nasdaq bounced right off VWAP, right off its pre-market lows as well there of 2130. So great bounce right there. VWAP in. Boom. All right, so just waiting for things right now. We can have a quick look. We didn't talk about Palantir at all this pre-market. It goes up to 131, taking out all-time highs again, which were just made yesterday. And now we start to head downside on Palantir. We've seen this name get clocked a couple times, right off the open, and then it manages to battle back, it seems like, every single time. Yesterday, here's the move down in the pre-market, based out. Then it did not have a move down yesterday. So looking for Palantir support, 128-ish or so. We'll see where it wants to go as the market right now just tipsy and turvy just a little bit. Your SMCI play, 45, you've already nailed that. Yeah, down into VWAP. I did want to see what Tesla was doing because this was going to be okay. Also, so there's the move that we just talked about with Tesla happening right now as well. Down here to 337, 336. So Tesla coming into yesterday's sort of top, which isn't a horrible play in my opinion for TSLA. But wow, we're dropping like it's hot right now on Tesla into these pre-market levels of 338.
Yeah, everything is dropping. I mean, Apple just went with a little bit of a bounce here. They were trying to get green and absolutely failing to do so. All right, SMCI, you're not really falling anymore.
No, the market's trying to go, and the market just bounced right back up again.
At first bounce on SMCI ends up being at 45, it looks like. So nothing really getting us down into. I wanted somewhere closer to at least 43 maybe, but it looks like you might hold on to the volume weighted average price, and my eyes just went batty because of AMD. What kind of candle was that? Look at AMD and the volume. What the heck, AMD?
What did it do?
Look at the wick on. Like it basically got to VWAP, and then, yeah, okay. It's going to be one of those types of days on AMD. AMD is absolutely flying. I think you just have to pivot to be on the bid in front of volume weighted average price, and if you get run over, then have it with an amount that you're willing to be run over, or try to get a higher low in here somewhere because. This is now gonzo. Maybe the 120 is going to be in play for AMD. SMCI also absolutely flying here. That was a crazy move. And we'll get to Oklo and Lucy and some of that stuff. But, wow, that was an insane wick. What the heck?
That was insane. We just got in and out of Tesla I don't even know what happened there. It went down. We got long at 338.40. Then it broke 338. Yeah, I know. And then it broke 338 quickly in the same 1 minute. And then I looked over and it was in the money, and I'm like, are we in the money or out of the money? But there goes Tesla. It did rinse again. So I'll try that again, man. If it breaks 338, then 337.99, then we'll try to get out of that one more time. But I don't know what just happened there on Tesla. I thought we had a $1 winner or so, but we don't, as it goes back there to the upside on that. So you want to talk about a bad wick out? I mean, we just wicked the bottom of Tesla right there. So, no, I can only imagine what Palantir is doing.
130.
There goes Nvidia right now. Try to take out this top again as well. 134.25. Bye-bye, Nvidia.
Bye-bye everything. Bye-bye everything.
Yeah, I'm going to go long.
Palantir just broke 132. That's absolutely flying to the upside. AMD just broke the high of the day. Everything is gone. What's Uber
Let's go.
Okay, Uber's trying to break out as well, so I got to get over to that one. If it broke a all-time high yesterday, continuation plays got to be there. Wow, unbelievable rally. The only thing not going right now actually is SMCI.
All right, good play there. Bang, 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 bang. As we go long on Nvidia right there, as it's starting to go, we're long 134.21. I mean, the minute we took that high, I was just like, I'm going. This was not a stop order. This was me just manually punching the you-know-what out of this one. As there it goes, man, like Mike Tyson. You knock out Nvidia right there. Nice move to the high side. Oh, boy, we've got a position on right now. But let's not try to clear out everything. We want to make this a special day. So I'm going to get some more out here in the 80s. Nice trade right there, 60 cents on some shares for NVDA. Tesla's going to haunt me, man. We should have it was only 100 shares, but we should have now $3 on this trade, but instead we got stopped out right there. So whatever, but we'll see what winds up happening now with Nvidia. Hopefully it can continue to go a little bit higher right now on that one. The other looks that we had was Big Bear AI. That one fell in. I'm bidding 375, believe it or not. There goes Big Bear AI. I don't care that I'm not long this name. The account is humming right now on Big Bear AI. I put my neck out and told you about that one from a time, and now it's finally starting to go upside. We did want $62 on Robinhood, and guess where the bottom was? $62.25. Guess where we're bidding right there? $62.05. So we do miss that Robinhood take as that bounces around. And what goes bump in the night? Nvidia bumping back down. We still have half of this position, so celebrate a win early, but maybe it turns out to be an L. And this is what I'm saying. We talked about this with Charlie yesterday. It's like, yeah, you can look back and be like, man, why didn't I hold? But then this happens, and you wonder why you didn't get out more at the top. But where is the top for Nvidia? Nobody knows. I'm going to offer right now 55, take some more out right there. All we should have done is really reloaded there. But so far we'll go 1 for 2, and Tesla is going to make me throw up just a little bit inside right now because we nailed that trade and just got wicked out right there. Like literally in 10 seconds we were in and out of that one. But all right, let's go, man. Market is absolutely crazy. So is Robinhood. Look at the NASDAQ.
The market is absolutely flying right now to the upside. I'm trying to get picked up still in AMD. Oh, by the way, SMCI is still actually trending to the downside. So I'm just going to, like I said, I'm going to sit at VWAP because the last time it rejected VWAP bigly, as Sharif likes to say, it was a huge rejection of the volume-weighted average price. We'll see if it can play it again. SMCI, why we're not in this is still trending to the downside, everybody. Lower highs and lower lows, at least for now on SMCI, as it continues to go to the wayside. There is an IPO today, but fortunately, I don't think eToro is going to open until like the middle of the day. So we will go over eToro at some point, but we don't expect that until afternoon. That's generally how these bad boys have been going. Everybody, we have record viewers, and we appreciate all of them. We'll get to as many questions as we can. Hit that like and subscribe, especially the subscribe, so you can ask questions in the chat, and we'll try to engage as much as we can. The opening rush is quite the rush. 8% on AMD. Yeah, sometimes you wake up in the morning and like there's no chance that you thought it, like I didn't think AMD would be up twice as much as Nvidia. Hopefully this dip can give us a little something.
Yeah, I mean it won't be up. I mean it's up nicely now, but yeah, like you mentioned there, individual catalysts.
You don't know where the news is going to come.
Nah, especially catalysts like that, right? All right, so I just want to look at Tesla because that was another call there. All right, so whatever. Again, there's that 345. Like. I'll just say there's another call. We said if you're going to wait for short, wait for 345. We have the ideas, but do we have the trades is the question. There's 345 right there. I mean, if you guys, again, remember what we were saying, what I was saying, if you're looking for that short, 345 might be the play. And I was also like, if you're looking for the long, but that came and went. So whatever for now as we continue to go. So, all right, the market's pulling back. So what's the play now for Nvidia? Let's have a quick look. So back into VWAP, we like that. I'm trying to play off this bottom. So we're going to try to get some more down here at 133 flats or so. I'm bidding right now 133.10. Going to get stopped out on this kind of a breakdown here into 70s. So we're going to let this sort of fade back down here. If it comes back into us, then we're going to get longer. But I'm not buying this initial dip. I'm buying 133s to try to support in and around VWAP, in and around the 50 period moving average. So that's what we're doing there on Nvidia. We'll see if that can get going. I'm seeing JP Morgan hitting a little bit now. Must have been just a high a day look right there. Good look for JP Morgan, but not doing too much. IBIT not doing too much either. We're at 104 O's right now. IBIT for those of you looking at Bitcoins. Or Bitcoin right now, kind of flat. IBIT's down, but kind of flat on the day so far there. You know what's going upside, of course, because I sold it, is Google.
Okay.
Google's 161. Google with the biggest move right now that I can see, just 4 candles straight there to the upside. Google a much better long, it looks like, than Nvidia right now. It's working long as
there was just a dude.
Quantum.
So there was a dude at 122 on AMD, and it's now happened 3 times. I think we're going to get VWAP again here. It just happened 3 times at 122. So they're selling it back in. This is making some, all right, it's got a very distinct trend now, which I'm just going to do this for myself and leave that up there. It's got a very distinct upward trend with no boundary at the low except for the volume weighted average price. So this really needs to hold on to VWAP. If it doesn't, I think we're in some trouble. Or we can break out the top of that trend, and that would be even more interesting. Rigetti's absolutely flying, up 13%. Like, of course, today we're not really looking at it. For those in the chat, zoom out that daily chart, 1175, and this is another squeeze type name. Well, to add to the litany of stocks that could potentially be massive squeezes today. All right, SMCI is finally starting to go. I guess it broke 45, but no test down to that 42.5 to 43 area. So obviously we didn't get SMCI. AMD, we're still looking for that pullback into VWAP, which is coming close. And if SMCI doesn't get to 43, then holding the volume weighted average price would be the next look for myself here. Yeah, doing tons of volume. I mean, the volume is insane in this market so far at the open. You're not used to seeing this much action in so many places.
No, a little bit of a pullback in right now, which is fine for us. I mean, we're going to sit here on this trade and wait to see how low Nvidia can go. I mean, I'm going to buy a little bit. Yeah, Google's the one that's really rocking right now. So there's 133.60s coming in right now for Nvidia. I was going to sit here and I'll take something now. I was going to wait for 65s. Is that okay? There we go. We get 65s anyways. So we get some 70s and some 65s. I don't know why I would buy 70s and 65s, but really small right now as we go longer on Nvidia. We're waiting for this low to come through just to see if we can hold the low of the day. And if it doesn't, then we'll get run over on that play. So we'll wait to see where that goes. You talked about Palantir earlier as well. I do want to have a quick look at Big Bear AI. So there's Palantir up to, wow, 133.50, man. Wow. Huge moves early. And now the fade is real, man. So you got to put on your low taper fades today because this is making a little bit of a move down here for some of these names. I mean, where are we going to buy Palantir? Good question, Sean. Maybe the 200 period moving average, but I'm going to stay away. We've seen some falling knives before, and Palantir is not going to be my choice today. We're going to look at Nvidia that has the news around the Saudis there as well. So we'll wait to see if there is any pullback over there. Let's check out some Mara here. Marathon Digital. We've really liked this name down at 12 bucks. We talked about that over and over again, but that's really based down right into here, 13, I guess. And there's the nice move up, and now just kind of breaking back below. This just hitting the scanner too, because it's a nice little whoops downside play there for Mara, despite Bitcoin kind of holding out. Okay, we did get reloaded, but we didn't. Enjoy your fruit salad, everybody. But this is what we're looking for. There's the reload there on Nvidia. Comes back into VWAP. I mean, you know, I trade off VWAP, right? So there's the bid there. Let's see if it can get going again one more time.
It's an interesting coincidence.
Yeah, is that the same thing on AMD? Big Bear AI,
same moment.
Just quickly, that's at VWAP
that's at
as well.
VWAP now.
Yeah, so a lot of trades at VWAP right now.
And then, well, you know what? I'll give you one more. The NASDAQ also bouncing off the, there you go, zoom in for you so you can see, bouncing right off the volume weighted average price. Like, that's completely insane. Like, basically everything, except for SMCI. SMCI is underneath VWAP and holding underneath. So AMD bouncing off volume weighted average price. We'll keep trying to go there. But all of a sudden, for me, Tesla, yeah, if Tesla breaks the low, it's going to get into the zone that I like 336. Yeah, I wasn't sitting on the bid of Tesla, I suppose. That's what happens when I move that level 2 to AMD this morning. Tesla did get down to close enough to that prior day high. If it retests, that's where I look for the bounce. If it loses it, we like the 330 level. Let's go to Adara.
Here's a small cap, SES, no catalyst on SESAI, but they've rallied in the past. And it's worth noting they do have an NVIDIA connection. Their name was mentioned by NVIDIA's blog as recently as last week. So SES, potentially an NVIDIA sympathy play. I do want to mention to you guys, there are no economic numbers throughout the day, so nothing to worry about here at 10 a.m. or right now at 9:45. Back to the guys.
Pull to the highs.
Yeah, Apple starting to move around again as well.
Really?
So we're going to try to buy what we just did. We bought some Tesla down here.
Just went.
Let's see if Tesla's going to do something down here. This is that first trade that we made, and we got stopped out immediately on this trade. So let's see if we can take some kind of profit here if we're able to. And there it goes. Yes, nice trade finally. Back end now on Tesla, making it go upside now would be really nice. There it goes. Good little trade there. Good pickup. There we go. There we go. There we go. Nice move on Tesla. There it is, man. it's $1 right there on Tesla. So we make back exactly what we lost, actually a little bit more than what we lost now on Tesla as it's screaming back there to the upside. Let's see if it can go. We'll try to hold on to that. All right, Nvidia is really pumping through with some volume right now. It just wicked down into 133. I don't know why we didn't get long down there. 133.10 is what I'm at. It just went to 133.30s. Okay, so not that close. We'll wait to see, man. There's definitely some energy coming out right now of Nvidia and maybe also with the other names. Let's see what SMCI is.
I just covered on AMD because it just lost VWAP and is continuing to fall. So the first wick, you can barely see it. The first test of VWAP was 118.5. The level I really wanted was 117.5. That's like $2.50 from here. So there's still a chance that you could get down into 117.5, but the next buy would be right here, 118.5. That's where I'm looking on AMD.
Oh, come on, Tesla again.
Tesla's getting pretty close as well. SMCI is really like the air is coming out of that thing. So I think it is going to test back into 42.5. Like it also happens to be a level in the pre-market, but remember, this is a prior resistance area on the daily. So pullbacks into prior highs when the market is coming in makes some sense. So I mean, you got to be banking on the shorts if you're in, or trying to get out of the longs and look for better pricing, which is where I'm at right now. I see Palantir still at 131. That's a good look because that would mean at least some kind of strength is in Palantir. And Denver Trader mentioning DJT is falling. That's a stock I have not looked at in quite some time. OKLO is absolutely flying. Oklo and Rigetti.
Yeah, well, they
reported. And Quantum, anybody that reported recently in Quantum and the recent reports, of course, in nuclear, those are still very much in play. But so is the bid here on Tesla and SMCI. It's coming in, dropping in rather rapidly here. Yeah, we're gonna get we're probably like a minute or two away from testing this low.
We have, look at the futures just really franking
faster
right now. So I want to see if we had any news coming today. We do not. So no economic events whatsoever today. Some Fed speak happening today, but other than that, nothing going on. All right, so we did try the three. So again, we took some profit, then it fell back in again. So Tesla right now will be a fail. We will be down on Tesla today, but it's just trying to wait to see what winds up happening. We talked about that 336. We zoomed out there in the pre-market, and we talked about like what levels we kind of would like, and we came right into 337 there. So, probably should have been a little more patient waiting for that level instead of buying 338s and getting out when it broke the day's low. Could have zoomed out a little bit more there and probably should have. So right now I am back in bidding Tesla, but not until 336. So we'll wait to see what happens there. Nvidia just got going a little bit. It got back into the 40s or 50s there, which gave us a little bit of a trade. But right now we're long. So this is going to be the stop out right now. We like this trade. 132.70, man. If we break below 132.70, which might happen right now, then we will get out of Nvidia, man. We have some shares on board, and here it comes. The market just turned red. So, in a down, went through VWAP, looks like may turn red momentarily here. So, yeah, watch out now. There's a little bit of a bounce back.
The ES did get red.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, the ES went red. Okay.
Yeah,
we're just watching out for Nvidia and the NASDAQ right now for myself. But, risky business here as Nvidia downside pretty aggressively early right now. So, watch out. We did have that AMD story, SMCI. But right now, for me, it's Nvidia. We've dug into this one. Looks like it'll be maybe a $1 hit on the other way as we're going to get stopped out here if we break through these levels of 70. So we're getting very, very close right now. Nvidia trying to find a base, doesn't find one yet. Downside play here on NVDA.
Yeah, well, it's all about the base, and hopefully there's no trouble with these lows here.
There's trouble.
Well, you want trouble, you got trouble.
I just got trouble.
Because the NASDAQ's breaking lower and about to go red. The ES is already red, being led by I'm not sure exactly what, because I'm not sure what the divergence would be between the two at this particular moment. So the only thing left is 42.5 on SMCI has not happened yet. I'm looking for a VWAP retrace, double bottom into the prior high on Tesla. So I'm looking for a VWAP retracement here, but it is absolutely
it's
heavy.
Still going.
Where would you even want to be short? Is the first question.
Right now for
the only short idea I had was Apple, and then instantaneously Apple was like the strongest stock. I'm like, well, I don't think it's going to get to 215. It didn't get to 215, so it doesn't really matter. Now it's looking lower. I might try to join Apple at some point to the south side, but I had written down like between 214 and 215, and it didn't really come all that close. So it's scalp mode for dip buy longs and playing into VWAP. Be patient. SMCI, I'm waiting another $1 for that thing, but Tesla's trying to get back. And it just rejected 340. And the candle, I mean, it was instantly back at 339. Like, it touches 340, back at 339. Yeah, if we touch VWAP, look at that rejection. I'm expecting something similar to this. Unless the market can, if the market closes above VWAP, that'll be a different story. AMD didn't come into my price, so I guess we're not going to get 117.5 just yet on advanced micro devices. So yeah, I think the scalp makes some sense. Anish in the chat, Oklo is, I mean, this one's absolutely flying. I don't know what to tell you, but obviously this was the long. But Oklo wasn't on the radar. That's what happens. You can only, when so many things are gapped up and strong, you know, you're going to look where you're going to look, and we can all look back and say how great Oklo was. And congratulations to anyone that got that breakout on OKLO. I just hope it's taking the group with it, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah. We could also talk about how great of a trade those were on Tesla, but not having it is one thing. I mean, there goes Tesla right now. Oops, I'm on the right stock. 139 again. Sorry, 339 up to 340. Now coming back in just a little bit. All right, the TQs just fell in again into this low. So we're going to try it. We do have 69 was the marker that I had written down. So if we come back in, we're going to load up a little bit more here on the TQQs if and when it wants to come through. Just holding a small piece. I did buy some Nvidia when it broke back through 133 there because it did take the 200 period again, and just was thinking that maybe the market would want to go, but now we just wait. So now we're going to have to wait to see if we can get a much better price now on Nvidia. 132, maybe 25 is near the lows right there. So if we can get something like that, that's 50s, a break there, and we'll see if we can work on that. But right now the TQs were in it. You know, it didn't give us that exact bottom there at 69.25 because we weren't there. We're at 69.15s. So we'll see if that can hold, and if we get that long, then that will be fine. We'll wait for that one to come in right now. Big Bear was the sort of the small cap name that I had written down here today to get longer at 375. That's into this area. Breaking through 350, we want to get out. Not sure if that's going to work or not, but it looks like the futures right now are working and working good. We'll get some out now at 70, as that's a nice little bump higher here on the NASDAQ. So it sucks that what we did on Nvidia there because we got stopped out near the lows, but that's all good. Tesla, we've got stopped out twice now, waiting for a better bottom there in and around 336. So yeah, man, what a great trade that was, finally catching a big one there on the futures. So we'll get some more out here at 68s and then see what we can do. Google, I don't know if you saw that one, but that
I did not see Google.
Top to bottom again real quick. Look at this. Top 162, back into 159, now right back to 160. Google, great trading off of 160 there again today. But yeah, we're just gonna wait for Nvidia. Yeah, Google super.
I'm glad I sold. Well, whatever. I don't know what Meta's doing right now because I haven't looked at it. But moved shares from Alphabet to Meta, which I'm gonna promise you it doesn't look good right now. But that's the nature of investing. So I took my first shot in SMCI. Wanted a trend break. Doesn't get to 42.5, obviously, but it did break the downtrend from the open. So I took the shot breaking through the prior bar, which happened to be 44 even. That's just maybe a coincidence, maybe not. But it's still holding above the trend line. I essentially gave it underneath like the body of that bar. Because I'm like, that's too crazy of a wick. And we still have our 42.5 zone to go. So with the way the market is moving, you just have to be really, really, like, pick your spots and scalp. And the more I think about that, I'm not getting filled again at 338 here on Tesla. But yeah, it's rejecting 340 on Tesla. I did not get that third reload at 338. We'll see. We haven't even had a green candle. Even despite the fact that we're bouncing off 338, you're still all red candles on the 3-minute. A little more strength would be a very welcome sight. I do still want to have a look to see if Apple's going to set up for anything short. What I don't like about Apple short is it's strong relative to the market. It just, nah. I don't want to short a stock which is relatively strong. It doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense. That would be like compounding. It's just compounding your issues, right? If you're dip buying things at the lows and shorting the stocks that are the strongest, you'll probably end up in a world of hurt. We're going to stay away from that. Wait for this VWAP here on Tesla and wait for the 43.5 on SMCI. And then lastly, AMD getting awfully close to 117.5. We got out of that one at VWAP like almost $2 ago. Probably a good thing.
Yeah, these chip names, yeah, definitely. These chip names coming back in pretty good. We did get out of Nvidia, but we did buy back in just a little bit. Let's see what winds up happening. A big shout out to my lovely wife who is watching. Thank you so much for supporting, as you always do. So that means a lot. All right, so the TQs just fell back into this area. I'm not going to reload this exact price. We're waiting for a little bit lower on that, so hopefully that will come in. We just missed Nvidia. Honestly, man, we were bidding 132.25. It just came into 35s. Maybe we get that again. We need a little bit of luck to catch some of these good dip buy opportunities right into there. You mentioned Meta, so let's have a quick look to see what Meta is doing. 650 right now, down. So Meta, yeah, nice move downside right there for Meta. Just back into where we closed yesterday, in and around the closing price. So Meta right now flat on the day, looking to go red, but who knows? The market still holding up as well. So let's hope for good things right now as we continue our trend, hopefully a little bit higher. We did get some information from traders looking to trade Coinbase earlier today. So there's Coinbase, kind of not doing too much, relatively flat on the day, zeros right now. Our Robinhood play, I'm bidding 62s. That didn't come in. It only came in early, and then we missed it. I may back off of this because I'm long a lot right now. I'm going to cancel that bid on Robinhood, but I do like it. I'd rather just see what it does down here. That low is 62.20. I really like that play. Again, I just don't want to be too caught off sides here because we are looking to go long the market. And if that doesn't work out, then the last thing I want is long everything. So let's just wait to see if that does play off of that level. And then we'll see about getting a better fill later on for Robinhood. But right now, it's all about that base. And we are having some trouble right now because it's TQs back into this area. I'm going to buy some now. We were just bidding 15s again, and we missed it again on that dip buy there for the TQQs. So yeah, crazy times here.
The wicks are nuts.
Yeah, that's what happened to me on Tesla.
It just happened again on Tesla. I couldn't get 338s, but it happened. So they're rejecting now 339.5, which when the futures were taking out that low, it's like, okay, the sellers are right back in there at 339.5, jump out, reload at 338 as long as that one wants to hold. But you're getting a little bit of acceleration. Now the NASDAQ is trying to go to the red, which,
now we've got some,
if you get down to that pre-market, well, I guess it's the overnight, it's the overnight lows, right? The overnight lows as much as it's a pre-market lows. I think that's the next spot. So I want to make sure that we're bouncing off of that first, and then we'll try to I still want 338 in Tesla. That looks like it's the level for sure. But AMD is now hard charging. It's just about to break 118, which puts it within $0.50, that 117.5. So if you're late to the party, AMD authorizing a 6 billion share buyback, that's what had it going parabolic this morning, retracing the entirety of the breakout. Well, now it's got a nice trend to the downside. It's not a clean line, but we're so close to the support level that I'm taking a shot here at this level regardless. So AMD pulls all the way back in. That's why you had to get out of Dodge. And even SMCI is very close to that 43 level. So they're all coming down at this particular point. So we try to pick these dip buys, see if we can get these curls back into the volume weighted average price. Break trend or get to 117.5 AMD. What a move. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And again, that's just the share buyback, right? So great story there for anybody. All right, so we've been buying this dip here. It did go back up into 45s or so. We didn't put any offers there, so we're going to sit there now and see if we can grab something here on an upside move if the market wants to go. We're still at flats, and we're still trying to base out right now, right? And so I need this market to start ripping. So hopefully that will happen for us right now off of these bases. We are long into the NASDAQ. This is a triple levered ETF. So yeah, if the NASDAQ goes, so will this. There's our 45, so that's a good trade right now. We'll go sirens up a little bit as we continue here for what should be hopefully a bear move higher right now. We're still into a bull, sorry. Maybe a bear trap, maybe we'll be lucky enough to get that. There it goes, nicely done to the upside there for Nvidia bouncing off 132. We did buy a little bit more down there, giving our average price 132.80s, so not great, but this is great. We just got some more fills there on the TQs. Let's see if it wants to go a little bit higher. We can't just always get out once it rips upside. We need to leave some to make a trade. So far, two 2 for 2 here on the NASDAQ, but again, all pending, right? Like if we think this is going to get back up to the 200 period moving average, great, but it needs to get there. So let's see if this can go upside. Nice little base there on the NASDAQ. We bought that dip, so here we go, NASDAQ. Here we go. And hopefully that will continue some upside plays there for us. We are offering some 65s now. We just got 63s, but that did not print. So let's go up to 65. Don't know why we're offering that and not 64. Give me that. This is why I hate this. This is the stress, no hair, all this kind of stuff because of little things like this. But there it goes, man. We'll spin it one more time up to 65. So far, so good there. As there we go, man. A big trade alert for me on the NASDAQ as that's starting to pump higher. So again, missed out on Tesla because we got wicked out twice. But we do like that dip. And we do like the chips with some dip here on Nvidia as this chip name trying to get back higher. Let's offer some 69ers and then, you know, maybe grow from there. We're still stuck. There we go. We're still stuck at 132.85 right now. So let's go over and see our first breaking news with the Darren. I don't even think it is breaking news. It might be our 10 o'clock spot. So it's happening now. So if you're not aware of what's happening, you're going to find out now.
Yes.
What's happening now is the SPY trying very hard to go red here, only up 0.06% on the day. Here's the NASDAQ, up about 0.2% on the day. But either way, both of these giving up their early strength, and certainly a bit of a different look from the strength that we saw Monday and Tuesday for the most part. Semiconductors are on everyone's mind today, and certainly on a lot of people's watch list, including our Trader TV watch list this morning. SMCI announcing some direct liquid cooling solution improvements, but also announcing a $20 billion partnership with Saudi's DataVolt. Then we have AMD. AMD also getting a Saudi announcement yesterday, along with Nvidia and a host of other tech names. But in terms of more recent news, they did announce a $6 billion buyback program. After this announcement, we have BofA Securities raising their price target on the stock to $130. AEO, this one was on our watch list this morning. In case you missed it, American Eagle, still down in the day, but bouncing quite nicely. 10% short float, providing lower than expected preliminary Q1 revenue, and they withdrew their fiscal 2025 guidance. They are expecting revenue to drop year over year. Be sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. We'll send you back to the guys.
Rage.
Send it back.
In hindsight, maybe it should have been obvious that Intel would be such short.
Yeah, look at the Intel chart. You have it up there.
No,
Why are we not long?
Okay, so look, I missed the curl on SMCI there. That stinks. That's probably the trend break, but I'm not going to chase it. We went to AMD and got out of Tesla, and Tesla just broke the volume-weighted average price and is absolutely flying. Never picked it back up. See, couldn't get those 338s again, and now it's absolutely gone. Don't get the FOMO. If Tesla's going to 360 today or 350, well, okay, 350. I shouldn't say 360 when we're at 40s. If we're going to 350, there should be plenty ample opportunity to get back in. A VWAP hold or simply wait for a higher low off of underneath VWAP. I still think 338 is the level, at least for now, until we close above the volume-weighted average price. AMD's holding the line in front of the prior high and bouncing off 118. But this Intel, like, come on. Yeah, I guess you don't get any Saudi money, and this is what happens to you. Intel taking it on the chin. Micron also had a bit of a down move, but that was on actual news. Let's go back to Adara.
Keep an eye here on Boeing. I'm seeing here on X, a lot of people saying here, Qatar is signing this aviation agreement to purchase jets from Boeing. Currently, Donald Trump is attending a signing ceremony with Qatar. So I'm going to be having to watch that stream. Keep an eye here on BA. Back to you.
Good little look there. We'll have a quick check on Boeing for everybody. I'm just going to dip by
President's signing stuff, and they're showing, anyways.
Yeah, 128.50, 128.6. I mean, whatever. He signs stuff every day. All right, so there's Palantir. I'm just going to get long if it gets down into 128.50 area. So we'll wait to see what's going on over there. BA. Like I type in BA and Boeing doesn't even come up. Okay, so we'll go BA and we'll type it in ourselves. Wow, okay, 205. Wow, great level there. I didn't even realize Boeing got this high, over $200, and it must have obviously happened yesterday. So a nice move there for Boeing, and then continuation play there. Bottom of 204. Just trying to zoom out a little bit on a 5-minute chart. There it is right there, 202. That bottom right there of 202 looks good to me, man. If we get any dip buys into there, the high from 2 days ago, the high from yesterday before we broke out, and then a good base at 203. So yeah, 202 looking good for me on Boeing. I mean, the market's holding. You know, we're in the TQs, we're in the Nvidia. It's crazy because the trade of the weeks was already put on down here, and I got stopped out at the same spot both times, and that was with Tesla. So that was already $4. I mean, yesterday, whatever, we had $8 winner. Thanks, Patty Ice, for acknowledging that to our guy Sharif yesterday. We had $8 on Tesla. We were trying to do the same thing there today, and we almost had it, if not stopped out for $1. We didn't get stopped out for $1, but we got stopped out for 75 cents. But it goes about $1 against us, and we don't hold it. But that's because the stop was already in. And the same thing right there. I wanted to stop out at a 337.50 break both times, and that's exactly where we got stopped out, which is fine. It looks like we did hold 337 though. So yeah, man, oof on me for that one on Tesla, because that's the day. That's my whole day there if we keep those. All right, but never fear, as we always talk about this, man. Get right back on that horse, or in this case, that bull, and find your next trade. And we had written that down right there, TQQ 69 long. So it came into 69.20. So what did your boy do? We bought. And then you get an exploding cow, apparently. So nice move there. We'll wait to see if the NASDAQ...
It's normally not pretty, but when it explodes money, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine when it does that. Yeah,
yeah,
it doesn't need... Yeah, we don't need it to step on a landmine or anything. But there it goes right now. The TQ's nice upside move there. Yeah, SMR a day 2 play, hitting the radar a little bit, 22.50 today. Yeah, it's actually going downside as SMR right now, up 3% though still. We do like that one. Day low break, I guess, is what we were looking for right there on the scanner. It hits 22.20 and then rejects. So that was the day low, right? Forget about this. This is intraday low right there, 22.20 right now. So I'm going to get another piece out because I can even see that this does not seem to want to go any higher right here on the TQQs, having a problem with VWAP. So there it is. We got another out there at 67s, and now we'll wait to see what happens next as the market also, well, this is the market, but the market fading off of VWAP right now, and also Nvidia making a move right now. So Trump is now...
Be careful with SMR, because Oklo or Oklo, whichever one it is breaking the volume-weighted average price. It's in a pullback trend here from the highs. They're the ones that reported it got to 30, almost $40 here, but losing the volume-weighted average price. This is a stock that moves enough that VWAP's a line in a chart. So simply breaking it by 50 cents to me doesn't really mean anything. Like whether it holds it or not is, you know, we want to see it close above. Right
Come on,
now,
Donald.
In AMD, we're going to go to Adara. We've got breaking news. Be good, Donald.
Trump,
be good.
Yeah,
Boeing really rocketing here. Donald Trump saying that this deal here with Qatar is apparently the largest amount of Boeing planes ordered. This is, I want to clarify, unconfirmed. But either way, this was being stated here by Donald Trump. He also continued to thank, quote unquote, Kelly, that is, of course, Kelly Ortberg, the fairly recent CEO of Boeing, and saying, yeah, that they need to make sure they get those planes out there. So Donald Trump basically saying some positive things here about Boeing in light of this signing. To be clear, the signing's done. Right now, they're just doing a joint statement after the signing. The Emir has already spoken. Donald Trump currently speaking, so this event might be over soon. I'll keep you guys posted if there's anything of note. Back to you.
So thanks, Adara. So I talked about Boeing thinking that it had a huge opportunity with China. And I was like, if China ever gets back on board, Boeing will be going. And now we get Saudi. So you don't even have China yet. So wait until that happens, right? Then you're going to go bang upside on Boeing even more than where you are right now. Glad that we are still holding Boeing because it is starting to finally get going. All right, so I'm going to get more out here on the TQs. This is your trade of the day for me. P&L-wise, it will be number one for me. But there it goes, man. Nice little dip buy opportunity on the TQQs, Randy. We wrote down 69er, and we got it. The only thing that we messed up on, Randy, which could have been the whole day, and yes, this would have been a brisket trade, would have been a brisket trade for the rest of your life. But unfortunately, we get stopped out there. Yeah, it would have been there and there as it's going back there to the upside. So all you can eat brisket, Randy, but has to hold off for today because that $7 winner, although here yesterday, not here today. But we're all good, man. Look at this. Here we go. There goes Nvidia. Let's go. Nice upside move. There's more news right now about China, something about exporting commerce industry here. They're talking all about that. But Neil, we've got the big ones on board right now. I hope your AMD obviously ripping as well. There goes Nvidia. Huge move back there to the upside. So we get that. Thank you, my love, there in the chat to my lovely wife cheering on Nvidia for me. So we like that one. There it goes, man. The NASDAQ, though, is the real banger, as that is now ripping northbound on the NASDAQ. $70.10. Let's go right now for the Qs. Let's go, Nvidia, man. We're back to life, baby.
That's what it's all about. China's Commerce Ministry pauses export control measures against 26 U.S. entities for 90 days starting today. So that is obviously positive. We just got a nice little bounce. Like, I'm still playing VWAP. It's a VWAP retrace, and I'm not going to change my mind on that, at least for now. It's worked going station to station here. Being positive, obviously I look over at Tesla, and I'm not going to be in love with it because Tesla's all the way up at 343. But AMD's having some trouble with this 119.5 zone. So if we lose the battle here, I'm jumping out. SMCI is coming back down as well. Like, SMCI is not holding the bid very well in here. All right, there's our trail. Didn't get filled? Jesse Barfield? Jesse Barfield. 29 out. I still want the reload on this bad boy. Either we're holding above 120 and the volume weighted average price where we started our journey on AMD, or we're waiting to go back into those lows. It's been a tricky market without any. The only green candle on the NASDAQ is a rejection of the high, and then we're bouncing back and forth. So I'm going to stick to scalp trading. And then I'm reminded of what happened to me yesterday with IBIT. It was trash all day long, and then there was one clean, let it make trend, and then when it finally broke the downtrend, it was good to go. That's what the market feels like this morning. Like, not super clear. Every time we buy back up, we're just headed right back down to retest those lows. So I'm going to jump out, wait for the next trade. Feel like that's what I should have done. You know, I should have been a little bit more patient with SMCI. I don't think I got in the right entry point, and it still hasn't tested 42.5. So I'll wait for this to give me a much more clean look, hopefully. Once you get past 10 o'clock, then I think it's easier to start looking at better trend lines to work off of. So I'm out of AMD. Maybe we get back in at the same level as before, or even better. Maybe it's breaking VWAP and everyone can get in higher, and we go to that high. Tesla, on the other hand, is above and looking strong. Yeah, that scalp broke out. So that's the thing. Like, sometimes, like AMD, it turns when you get out. Other times you get out and it rips. You've just got to trade your style. Like, you can't go, oh, well, the last one held and the other one didn't, and then keep going back and forth. You could always end up on the wrong side. Just trade your plans. Sometimes the hold works, sometimes it does not. But Tesla, clearly relative strength here, and still no shorts for me. The only thing I liked was Apple, and now that Intel's basically dead, I don't even see that as a great opportunity. Like, this stock's in trouble.
Yeah,
this is not good for Intel. Because if all this money is coming in and they're not getting any of it.
Yeah, not a great look there for INTC. We did clean out of some of the Nvidia. You never get out of all of it, of course, as we're waiting for a bigger move there. I don't know if that Chinese story there, I think people got excited that it might have been chip related, but I don't think it is. Not a huge move up there for Nvidia, but we'll take advantage of it, man. I mean, we did do that up there at 133. We emptied some of the clips, but the lines of despair still remain true as we are underneath the 50, underneath VWAP, and underneath the 200 period moving average. So, maybe this this Nvidia run doesn't have too much juice left in it. I mean, we do need to break upside. So my next offer will be in and around here. No more scalping. I mean, if we get back to 133, fine. That's 40 cents from here. And then we'll wait to see if we can get back up to highs on that play. Futures, kind of a different beast always. So we're going to just try to, layer out of this one a little bit. You can see 69.80 right there is a spot. So let's offer that right there because we get back into VWAP there again. So let's go. Nice little 70 break. See if we can get higher on that one. We're going to go to Adair in 1 second. I just know that Palantir, obviously when the market gets going, so does PLTR. So if you want to, I don't want to say this as a YOLO trade because it doesn't really look like that right now. But if you ever get back down into this 129 area, that could be a great spot, especially if the market dips, then rips. We know that Palantir wants to go higher, up 1.6% right now. Let's see where it does go from here. But I, like this trade on Palantir, but it's got to get a bit lower for us. There goes the TQs back up to 70. So good little look there. All right, Adara.
So here is the NASDAQ. I just want to clarify. I looked into this China exports control story a little bit more. So I was trying to figure out how many U.S. entities, as it was put in the news headline, are actually on these China export control measures. I couldn't find a number, but it's not a small list. They've been adding companies in groups of 10, 15, 30, I would say maybe a month or so, if not more, that I can see anyway as of late. So they've only paused export controls against 28 U.S. entities. So again, I want to clarify, it's not clear how many entities. I couldn't find a concrete list of how many, but 28 is certainly, as far as I can tell, not all of the entities that are covered. Furthermore, it's just for 90 days starting today. Also, I'm just seeing a bit of a comment here coming through from Charles Gasparino, frequent Fox business contributor here on X. He's saying that he's hearing trade tariff deals with Japan and South Korea are reportedly close. And then also India is close as well, though, of course, tensions with Pakistan have made that a bit more difficult with regards to timing. Apparently, though, again, according to Charlie Gasparino, Japan and South Korea deals both reportedly close. Back to you.
That's not bad.
That'd be nice.
Well, any deal is a good deal, but thank you for getting that clarification, because you never know with a headline how much you want to price it to matter. And I saw the chips actually pull back a little bit on that. So just I appreciate you getting that out there, Adara. So a bit of a trend with the break. We took it a second time. After we get to 10 o'clock, connect as many dots as you can, and it held 43.5. It's still, I'm talking about SMCI, as you can tell. And still have not gotten to 42.5 underneath 43. So it's still not at the absolute bottom, but I'm still going to take the trend break every chance we can get. Tesla. Well, remember how we're like, Tesla, you're going to hold on to the volume weighted average price? Crazy wick, get $1.50 back to the upside, and now immediately, instantaneously retesting the bid here. I go over and look at AMD. It's running into the same problem at 119.5 as before, but the higher low's holding. Just close this higher low and break something out, and then we can start having an uptrend. So SMCI is a new trade for me, and ultimately, this is the one, for AMD is one of the stocks, it's above this breakout here. So it's going to still hold on to the overall trend when we're holding the pullback into prior highs, and a similar thing happening with SMCI on the daily. It's holding on to that prior trend bottom. That's what I like to see. If you lose levels like that, then you get into real trouble. Right, you break down underneath levels on the daily, and then this move starts to get into real trouble on any of these names.
Yeah, I mean, Tesla's back to VWAP. I mean, that could be an interesting trade for sure. All right, so we just got a little bit longer on Nvidia just because it's at this level, but I still want to stay true to what we talked about down here at 131 in case it does, really start to fall back in here on NVDA. So we don't have, our max position on this. We probably have about 30% of, what we've had many times on the show here on NVIDIA. So it's not, we don't want to chase this too much. It's already false broke. It didn't false break. We actually made money there. And then once it came back in, it was this trade right there where we averaged back on VWAP and then it fell through 133. That's where the L took place. And then since then, we've been buying some of the bottoms, which have been bottoms for now, but will they hold? That's up to the gods. Right now, the NASDAQ is trying to hold, and it's holding VWAP. So maybe if NVIDIA can get going in the space, that would be really nice. I mean, one name that we always forget, we don't forget about it, we just don't trade it ever, Broadcom. Spread is actually pretty good on Broadcom. I mean, it's had a huge move from the bottom. I mean, you want to talk about a name that gets under-talked about. We don't even mention Broadcom ever. Look at this, 150 bottom. Look at the move that Broadcom's had over the last little while. You want to talk about NVIDIA bouncing off of 100. This is 150 all the way to 240, just boom, right there. Huge move to the upside there on Broadcom. A couple great days there on this name. So just showing something different than NVIDIA, AMD, and SMCI, because Broadcom, again, is at a level right here in and around 240 where, you're not too far away. We showed the NASDAQ, where that was in relationship to its highs. Broadcom, AVGO, again, a monster name. I mean, off of the split, it's been great. Trying to go back up to all-time highs, I believe, right there for Broadcom, although it might have been higher because, you know, sometimes you get that carry forward from the split. So there we go. So Broadcom, a brand new name. A name I brought yesterday, we talked about the mouse that was in the house. Well, I mean, this man is being released a little bit today to the downside there, but look at what Disney's done over the last 5 days. What a monster there, from 92 up to 112, right back into 114, 118 highs. Everybody sneezing today, bless you on that one, as the dust and Studio 8 getting made in behind us. But yeah, Disney, good level. Maybe a turnaround day now for Disney. So, you know, if you're long there, you do wait for sort of that one red candle to tell you. It could be that doji star where we hit that, then we continue to go higher, or it's that star and we go to the downside right now, just giving you that reversal candle. So you don't actually want to go short Disney until it breaks through that next candle, which would be this 110 area. So a 110 break short on Disney there covers up all of yesterday, then that downside may or may not be justified. So we'll wait to see what happens with Disney right now. NASDAQ just looking slightly pulling back. But again, like, you know, we came in today at zeros or at 0.2. We went down to zeros, got back up a little bit. Right now, the NASDAQ relatively flat. There goes Nvidia, by the way. So we are going to have to wait a little bit for it as it now breaks 132. So we're just going to wait for our 131.20s. If that comes in, great. If not, then we just sit on our hands and wait for that level. So 131.15, sorry, coming in for Nvidia, and we picked that level because of yesterday's highs. And I don't want to get stopped out on a 131 break. We'll give it a little bit lower than that. So right now, 131 coming into play again for Nvidia, possibly, as we're at 132 flat.
And just a quick update here. We're going to get to SMCI in a second, but eToro does now have some information on it. We have a indicated open of 59.50. I wouldn't expect eToro to open until probably sometime during the midday. Lucky enough for Joe and Sharif, that's usually how it goes. Very small pair, under $1 million of open interest. The price, I believe it was 52. You know what? I'll double check. And this is a funny thing. Make sure you sign up for the watch list, everybody, because I can just look over. Yeah, it's 52. I just wanted to make sure, so I popped over to the watch list because I don't want to give you guys the wrong information. So right now, 59.5 is not huge from 52. So it's indicating it's going to open higher, but I don't think we'll get it till later. Any updates, we'll keep you guys appraised. Anyone that's looking to trade this, we love IPO season. I'm going to do the same thing we always do around here, which is the first gigantic even dollar bid that we see after it opens up. I want to go long in front of it and then play the initial push and just leave it at that. So we got the trend break on SMCI, and this was waiting for it to be past 10 o'clock. Crazy. Look at these wicks. Like, nothing clean about this at all. So connect this. Like, it holds the trend, closes above the trend line, and then smokes it to the downside. I got in when it regained the trend line to this support level, and I'm going to buy in front of 43.5 as kind of like an Alamo here for SMCI. And perfect timing as it's about to hit the bid, like everything else is, because if the only thing going up right now might be some small caps, so let's go to Adara for the small cap recap.
Okay. Some of these small caps might be going up, Neil, but the IWM is not. It's down about 0.2% today. ONCO, this is on Kinetics. This one has run in the past year. ONCO, 3.14 million share float, so pretty small float there. Here's GPRO earnings day 3 play. This one, sorry, day 2. This one reported after the bell on Monday. Pretty mixed guidance here, slightly stronger than expected for sales and slightly smaller losses per share than expected, I guess, for this Q2 guidance. But again, day 2 earnings here, 10% short float for GPRO, a penny stock. Here is TNF Pharmaceuticals. TNFA, couldn't find much information on this one, but nice little move here for TNFA. I believe the float on this one is roughly 10 million shares, guys. Back to you.
10 million. Wow, that's absolutely gigantic by some of the standards we've seen recently for those low floaters. But it gives you opportunity, the low floaters. So I always try not to gripe too much, even though I do, about certain things about the market because it gives people opportunity. I just heard in my ear that GME is popping. I'll get there in a second. We got the reload on SMC out in front of, it didn't get to 43.5. It actually stalling at 43.75. So higher lows being put in at 43.75. That's where I bought out in front. If we run into the same 44.20, I just realized that it's 420. Same 44 quarter area, going to take some out in front and then wait for VWAP. So that's starting to get back into the upside. And GameStop, please actually be moving here. Yeah, GameStop is trending upside. So there you go. GameStop is trying to break out. I do remember, oh, it's already gone. Yeah, it's already broken through on the daily. Next level would be 30. Shoot, that was a break a lot earlier in the day today. Congratulations if you happen to have GameStop. I have no idea why you would.
So 131.50, we're waiting at 131.20s. We talked about that on Nvidia. It is trying to bump back upside a little bit there as well. Let's go find out what's going on with Robinhood. Probably bouncing cleanly off 62. Yeah, what a surprise there. We were waiting for 62 low, so it's not like we missed that opportunity. It didn't really happen for us, so we'll wait on that one. Nice bounce back for Nvidia. We talked about it, but I'm not just going to keep on. I only have those two trades on right now, and that's really the only two I'm working with. We are looking for Tesla low to 337. If we do get that bid, then we're giddy up on Tesla right now. SoFi, no, I'm not, but I will be in 1 second there. Andre. All right, so yeah, just looking here for that move down. Look at SoFi, kind of going in a place that we didn't really think would happen today for SoFi. Nice downside play. It started off great in the morning. SoFi going from 1420 up to 1480 and then cracking a little bit lower right now. But if you do see that QR code below right there, you do have to scan that for 10% off of Trade the Pool. Every trader knows that in order to grow, you got to risk more. Well, that's how it used to be. But now with Trade the Pool, you pay a one-time evaluation fee of just $47, and that's that. Then you get a real shot to trade up to $200,000 in company capital. You don't need a large deposit, or you don't need years of experience. I think the latter maybe would help. This is a limited risk trading platform built for any trader who wants to grow without putting everything on the line. Just small skin in the game, and you're trading with real capital. Scan that QR code that you see right now on your screen and grab 10% off with Trader TV Live and Trade the Pool. So we want to thank them for once again continuing sponsoring this segment. So thank you to Trade the Pool. And if you are here with real trading, same kind of way, right? I mean, we do have a great learning system here. It's called simulation mode, sim mode, and you can get into that, start playing around. It's live, level 2, real quotes, but simulated action, right? And simulated fills. So, you know, you're trading with us real time and in a real time market. Let me just check out, this is a trader information portal, also available here at Real Trading to anybody that's logged in. I'm gonna look, whoa, all right, I'm gonna look at yesterday's top traders. So here we go, man, I'll zoom in just a little bit right here. So here's Sharif yesterday. You traded more than just the NASDAQ, right, my guy? Over $20,000 right there. Congratulations. Now it's not Sharif because he traded New York names. So that's how you know right there. He may be one on this list, but not that one, nor I either. 21,000 NASDAQ yesterday. Could be the TQs, could be anything, but this is the markets that were traded, not just the market it was made on. So then someone over there, you know, possibly a WonderFi play, who knows, there with the Canada, well, the TSX, so that's the big board, so wouldn't be WonderFi. Someone made 16,000. These are all US dollars, by the way. Any number on this left side is a US dollar number. Then someone else at Real Trading, shout out to whoever these traders are, Amex, TSX, so look at this, well diversified in North America right now, 10 grand there, and we'll just scan down 777 and near the bottom, normally near the bottom there's like a rando down here, like a Hong Kong or something like that, but yeah, just all NASDAQ and all Canada yesterday, I guess North American, I shouldn't say all NASDAQ, but not even in New York. There's a trader in New York there and one there as well. So yeah, that is what makes over here at Real Trading. My trades today weren't making too much money, but we do have this good trade here in the TQs. This is a good one, man. We've just been buying this dip and holding it. Let's see if there is a rip potential, but the NASDAQ just keeps on doing this dance, man, and we just got out again at the 200 period moving average. Look, we want to hold for the moon, right? And that's why when we look back, and thank you for the question, Adam DeLuz said to me, like, you know, do I get out of a lot early and then hold on to some for the runner, or do I get out in equal tranches on the way up? And I answered that question, I thought, pretty easily. I do the first one that I said, the second one that Adam mentioned, where I'll get out of a lot when we get bumped up there and then only wind up holding a little bit for the runners, which I need to maybe change that a little bit, but it's already 10:30. So like, I don't know, I feel like this market right now is not getting a little long in the tooth, but like we've seen a lot of this news already. So let's just wait to see I don't know. I don't think Nvidia turns red today. So, I mean, I like this position, and I do think that we do have more of a chance to go higher here. So I'm going to hold on and see if we do get that. We're now only 17 cents out of the money on Nvidia. But you know what? Look where we're at, man. We can't ignore those magical lines that we call support and resistance, but are just moving averages. So there's the 50 period. We just got back up there. We did not buy the dip, but we bought that dip right there at 20. So, hey, man, it's a 50-cent winner. You know, we just want more. So let's wait to see what on the reload, right? Let's wait to see now what winds up happening. We're back to flat on Nvidia, and we're smoking right now on the TQs. My only regret today was getting stopped out at the exact same spot on Tesla because those were big trades, and that could have changed the trajectory of my day. But that's okay. We're still here right now on the NASDAQ and on Nvidia, and trajectory changing as we speak, because there it goes. Nice move up on the TQs. We'll get some more out here at 90, and then we'll wait for a 70 break, and we'll wait to get a Dara with hopefully some great news at some point today about Nvidia.
Yeah,
you know,
or anything in the chips.
Yeah, anything in the chip space. But Nvidia specifically, please, would be nice, because that's where we are long, and that's all I care about at this moment. So, all right, you know, something that could rally Nvidia, but it's not rallying the base market right now, as Bitcoin is down to 103.
Did this yesterday for a late break. Let's go talk to Adara.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I'm unable to conjure up news catalysts today, but certainly not conjuring up any downside here on BTC, at least when you look at this daily chart. Now, yes, we are right in the day if you use this trading view chart, but we do have consistent higher highs, higher lows in this uptrend. I've been talking a lot about this really strong support that we formed going back to mid-April around that 75,000 level. That really did start. I mean, now we've got bull flag on bull flag. It's a lot of continuation if you look at this longer term on BTC. We also just got these crude oil inventories, 3.454 million here for crude oil inventories compared to negative 2.2 million expected. Let's talk here about some of these other crypto assets that are not Bitcoin related. Ethereum up 1% on the day. We are continuing to see this hold up very nicely around 2,500. XRP up about 1.5%. Solana up about 2%. Dogecoin up about 2%. So some mild strength here. But what is interesting is as of right now, all of these non-BTC crypto related names are actually performing better than Bitcoin itself. Interesting thing to note here today as we continue this pretty interesting trading session, guys. Back to you.
Well, right before we went to Adara, I said this happened yesterday on Bitcoin, and it was almost exactly the same thing. Like you failed the open high, lower high, and then you broke trend. It took until 11 o'clock, like right as we're going into the midday show, then it broke the trend. So I'm looking for the exact same thing on IBIT here. So Bitcoin, as long as we're trending down while the market's going up, it's pretty much the same thing, going into the same level at 58.5 that it was yesterday. SMCI is now somewhat upward trending. They broke the trend line down. First time, not clean. Second time, it wasn't super clean, but at least now it's holding the 43.5. Now you've got an upward sloping trend line that I can, if it holds VWAP, I'm buying the trend line above the volume weighted average price. If it loses the trend line, it's lost VWAP. So now this can't turn into a losing trade. It's been a weird morning. The strongest stocks at the open were like in the pre-market, I should say, were the weakest stocks at the open, and then the weakest stocks in the pre-market have been the strongest stocks, like Apple's at the high of the day. Maybe we're flipping that around a little bit here as the chips are getting higher. Although I didn't get back into AMD, it's still playing the same range. I kind of missed the 118 and then moved my order up, which I'll let it try to get back down here. I want to see us busting the volume weighted average price. If the futures is going to start breaking resistance, I should be waiting, let it get back down to 118. That's been a good trade. We only had it the one time, well, the two times, and we'll see if we can't get it a third. So SMCI working, waiting for Bitcoin next. I think that's going to be the next likely entry. When this eventually breaks the trend, I'm going long into IBIT. Want to hold on to if we lose 103, I think the next stop could literally be 101. So it's going to have to make its bounce here soon on IBIT, but once it breaks that trend, I'm in.
All right. A couple more outs there on Nvidia on the TQs, because we got up into the 70 area. And again, the 200 period moving average, we're not going to be stubborn and ignore that. And the same thing right there on Nvidia as well. It comes up into this level. I mean, now I'm waiting, now I have an offer at 90, see if we can climb into there. Then after that, man, 133 and a quarter, right where VWAP is. Actually, now that's a little lower. Maybe I should change that. 130, let's put it at 133.15. We'll put another 10%, or a little bit more than that now, actually, because we just took it out. So we're going to just try to keep these plays going right now on Nvidia long, and I can't drop it now. Right? I can't make all this money back. Well, I'm not even making any money back. I can't hold it to get downside and then just scalp out for flat. But, if my opinion does change, that's the best thing about this business, is you can get in and out of your trades, figure it out later, maybe possibly reverse your opinion at any time as well. And it looks like right now we are having a hard time getting through this level on the futures, right? And so that seems to be a pretty easy take right there for me. So we'll have to wait to see where we go, but more outs on the futures. And there's Nvidia breaking back down again. All right, I'm going to put out 5% there at 65. Maybe we get it, maybe we don't right now, because it seems like it's having a problem up here at 133. It's not even getting to 133 right there on Nvidia. So, yeah, what's up, Sean James? I mean, look, man, I'm here to trade Tesla. This has been, for me, one of my best stocks over the while that we've been having this show. So, yeah, we're going to still stay there on Tesla and see if we can't get something going here. But, again, needs to come back in, right? There's that 138 again, 338 hold. I'm at 337 now, so I don't get wicked at that bottom one more time. But yeah, that was a day maker for me, and I gave it up, right? And so we got stopped out there. So, all right, we'll still continue to hold it. We'll see what winds up happening there with Tesla. Hopefully we do get that bid, but for me, the concern really lies right here with Nvidia and seeing if that can get higher. And then Palantir waiting for a dip buy as well. We're actually still at 128.30 to see about that opportunity there for Palantir. So we'll wait for it, man. We need this market to get cooking a little bit here. Waiting for Nvidia.
Yeah, and a stock that has been cooking, everybody, is OKLO. And if a lot of people have asked, where are the levels on OKLO? Why would it turn so sharply as it just did at 38.5? Well, I mean, sometimes when in doubt, zoom out.
It's working.
A lot of these names have been going absolutely ham. They were the latest one to report. But the tape is going a little bit parabolic, as we can see, but that daily chart telling the story at 38. And the other thing that you want to make sure you're looking at, and I'm going to throw up IBIT on here as well. So we just battled the 103 level on Bitcoin with a drop and then a bit of a pop. And you look at this on a daily chart for IBIT. I understand it's a 24-hour market. I want to get that out of the way. But you look at how sort of top-heavy we are getting here. This is a key little bit of a mini flag here that we're seeing on IBIT. Whoops. There we go. And where do you find levels like this? Or, as I'm trying to do, actually look at, I was trying to set up a new indicator, break, fail, long, because there were a bunch of those that happened today. And it's all on e-signal. Live level 2 access. I'm showing you guys all the time frames you can have in your charts. Heck, you can have charts underneath the 1 minute, which I don't use. You can back test, you can forward test, you can trade through multiple brokers with eSignal. And the best part about all of it, the first month is free. First month free, so you can try out your trading strategies on a professional charting platform with the ability to back and forward test, the ability to use API to automate your trading as well. It's a very intuitive and user-friendly experience with great support. I can attest to that. Very good support there with eSignal. First month free, everybody. So scan that QR code you see out in front of you. It's an all-in-one platform that's there for traders. And shout out to eSignal. Link also in the description. Well, we were trying to hold on to that trend on SMCI, but if we're following our rule, there it is. There was your upward trend. It was on. It lost VWAP underneath it. I don't mind trying to resume it somewhere else. I mean, our first trade lost, and then the second two off around the same area both worked out. So we'll end up trailing it out. I can jump back in above the volume-weighted average price, but it's worked going step by step here. And as I'm reminded about that, the next trade for me, if it's not going to be SMCI, look at the wick that just happened on IBIT. Right down to what? 58.5. So right into yesterday's low, and bottoming tail candle on IBIT. I should be in on a break. Like, forget about that trend line because it put in a steeper one since VWAP, but the break of this trend line is at the 60 level. I'm going to nibble in the 60s because that looks like it just hit the level and is now holding that 103 on Bitcoin. So first salvo win. Ideally should have a price in the 50s if we've done it right. So I don't want to be adding to this unless I can get something underneath the 60 level, and we'll look for a VWAP retracement. As yeah, this is what I voted for in the chat. BA ripping up. I haven't even looked at Boeing outside of the 2 seconds when we saw it going ham with the story that Dara gave us. But I hope it's continuing.
Yeah, Boeing. We really like that play again, a long-term account play in there. So, yeah, Nvidia, another out right there. Could not get going through that high. I just really hope it does. Shout out to Ross there in Thailand. He wants to know, what's up, Ross? Where my out is for Nvidia. It's a hell of a lot lower than where we are right now. I'm just trying to be patient with this. I'm trying to buy this dip again, 131, and if we break 131, then we're going to get out. I mean, it's what we had written down on this level. We wrote down 130 to 131. I don't know if we want to wait that low for Nvidia to come through into us, but you know, a 130.75 fill or so like that would be where we wind up. Oops, I'm already maxed out. Is where we would wind up getting out. So there, you know, take a bid there. If we break 131, I'm going to give it a little bit more love to the downside. So if you're at faint of heart, this Nvidia trade will not be for you. So that's what I'm trying to do. I think that there's some more upside in this name. We've seen it get going, you know, and once it does, sometimes it's impossible to stop. But that fade into yesterday's close there, that's a tough one. And I'm starting to think right now we may be betting on the wrong horse. I mean, our futures are really starting to rip up, and we've already sort of made money on that. That's going to be P&L1 huge. But it doesn't matter because we're losing more on Nvidia than we're making on the TQs. Not right now, but that first trade we did. So we're going to wait to see what winds up happening right now. Tesla's been easy day today. It's just I got wicked out. So we're going to wait to see if that comes back in. But yeah, all right. Joe's already asked me right now, so it means that everything's working. We do have What's for Lunch coming up very soon. But for now, let's go over to another segment with Adara at the desk.
What sectors are on watch? Well, I'm going to tell you, it's actually a lot here that are pretty red. AbbVie really weak here in health technology. Thermo Fisher to the downside as well. Eli Lilly, Johnson & Johnson to the downside. It's worth noting this health sector might just be in watch in general. I just am seeing here comments coming here from R.F. Kennedy Jr., who is the Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services. He said that his opinions on vaccines, which are not necessarily positive, are irrelevant and that he doesn't think people should take medical advice from him. So potentially here, you can keep an eye on these. We know they did drop initially when his nomination was announced. Technology services strong for the most part. CRM looking good. Netflix looking good. Google, Microsoft. Nvidia holding up well here in electronic technology. AMD still up a whopping 5% after announcing that $6 billion buyback program. But energy minerals really weak here. Utilities really weak. Health technology weak. Transportation weak. Process industries weak. So there's a lot of weakness here to balance out some of these outsized strength. We have health services. UNH actually still green on the day as well, trying to rally after yesterday's drop on its CEO's resignation. Back to you.
Of course it is.
Yeah, Google 163 and absolutely Rip City, yo. All right, but here goes Nvidia right now. Finally, let's go. Let's just go bang, bang, and bang, and bang, and say woohoo right now, because we need more than this, though, Sharif. Let's see if we get going right now. 132. We're long at 132.60, but it's bouncing off of 133. Like, this level has been nothing but a thorn right now in my side. So we have a bunch of outs here. It's all pretty light shares. So shout out to Adam there, was asking about that. And again, this is my strategy. It's just if it comes up into a level, despite the fact that I want this to go, I can't, you know, if it doesn't go, fine. We'll start to scalp out a little bit more. We actually wind up getting out of about 20% of we had left right there, so a little more than I wanted, but again, a pretty good out, making some of that money back a little bit there on NVDA. So hopefully that's been a good one. And then look what just happened as well. We just got another out right there at the 200 period, upside right there on the futures. So this has been a great trade, but nothing really wants to break right now. So hey man, the day is still pretty young. Let's see if it does happen for us. Big Bear AI, the only real runner there that we've been looking at today. That's crazy because I'm bidding 375. It goes to 380. We'll see if we do get some big bear AI down there at some point. But for now, the whole day really resting on Nvidia for me. So let's wait to see if that goes. The other one is Robinhood. That was a $62 take that we didn't get. That looks like it's been good 3 times. So watch out for 62.30, 62.40 here on Robinhood as we go. So a couple more minutes and we'll figure out what's for lunch because my guy Joe over there is waiting. He's getting antsy. He wants to know what is for lunch. And Joe, calm down. You'll find out very, very soon.
Hello, Joe.
Over there, Joe.
Oh, come on.
Told you, man. I told him, leaving you hanging. This is why he's mini. This is why he's mini me, man. You know, we trade a lot alike. We trade the same names. We're both excited to hear what's for lunch. He's trying to work out like I do. So, you know, so far so good, man. We do like our guy Joe over there. A big shout out. Great addition to the team here.
There's no
Joe.
pie for lunch. I can tell you that much, Joe. That's. I'll give you a little bit of a hint, brother.
There might be pie. There may be pie.
There might be. There's a slight chance. Nah. So look, obviously we're still. I only had one new entry, and that was going to be the break of trend. You saw that bottoming tail on IBIT. Well, it came in. We're able to get above the breakout of the prior bar high. So now that it's gone one step up, which is into the next level of resistance, stop moves to essentially just underneath the break even. I don't want to put it right there, so I'm going to give it to just underneath 60s on IBIT. I want this playing back into the volume weighted average price. Meanwhile, so this is that's okay. It's AMD's acting a little differently at the 118 level than it was before, which was when we get there, we bounce, and then we show a hold. So right now, it's not showing the hold on AMD, showing a little bit of signs of weakness there over in advanced micro devices. SMCI, the out that we had trailing underneath, it's holding under the trend line. I'm not trying to short it because I wasn't thinking short on SMCI, but it is looking like it was probably a decent reversal. I needed it back above 45 or retesting the lows. Ultimately, SMCI never even got to the level, like 42.5 to 43 was the level that I was going to be looking at, and it never even got there. So I want to give it a chance to get down there. Right now, we're now getting an update on eToro, $62. So the indicated open is now all the way up to $62 on eToro. Still very small. Only 600,000 indicated at the open. I'm going to... Usually you're not opening unless that number gets into the millions, but we'll see with eToro. Let's go to the desk. I believe Adara has an update for us.
Here is KULR. Keep an eye on Cooler Technology Group. This one in a downtrend on the day. They also report earnings coming through tomorrow after the close, so that's going to be on watch as well. J Capital shorting this name, saying that with less than $11 million in annual revenue, after 12 years of trying, Cooler appears to have built a cottage industry in promoting its own stock, quote unquote. So scathing note here from J Capital, just one day ahead of KULR earnings report. So keep an eye on this one, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe if you are enjoying this content. Back to you.
Yeah, get that
one
like
update.
and subscribe. Yeah, go ahead.
That eToro, like they're raising 620 mil. Well, that's not that big at all. So when you see it on the locator, like maybe it doesn't need to get into the millions before you open it up. We usually expect this to open up sometime at lunchtime. I feel like CoreWeave was what, 1 o'clock? Something.
Yeah, there's always something around it.
CoreWeave was a little bit bigger, maybe more interesting for a lot of people, but that was closer to 1 o'clock, so I'd expect maybe you're eating lunch when eToro comes out. But yeah, not a lot of shares out there on eToro. I just want to quickly go back over to, and Bhutam in the chat, eToro was going public literally today.
I mean, any moment.
Yeah, I mean, it could literally be any moment. Apple is now back under the volume-weighted average price, so it's looking relatively weak again, which is generally what I would like to see if I'm trying to short Apple. Like the futures are bouncing. Like look at the range on the NASDAQ. It's like fail the top, fail the bottom, and then you're in a compression pattern. Well, whichever way you break is what you want to hold. That's obvious. But if we break down, what's the stock that I like? Well, I kind of like Apple. Apple still can't seem to break 215 on the daily chart. And then you go out to the 15-minute. Like it's the only thing that I was looking at this morning that was tracking underneath a big resistance level and unable to break it. So when I zoom out, it makes me like the short a little bit more on Apple. But you got to break this malaise or channel that we're sitting in the futures before I want to be digging into anything like Apple. So I'm not going to fight it. We'll stick with IBIT into VWAP and kind of try to find the next trade, everybody. Crap stock saying UNH is up 1.3%. Of course it is. This is a perfect kind of day for UNH to be beating the market, right?
All right, Joe, it's your birthday, baby. Let's figure out what's for lunch right now. All right, here we go. So this is what is for lunch. And again, you know, we get catered over here, so it's we don't know what's going to be coming for lunch. So today, yesterday we had bolognese. I think we had salmon maybe on the first day. Let me double check. No, we had Greek grilled chicken, of course. Oh no, Joe. What happened? Oh no, this is going to be another one for Joe. Another one. Joe's going to want to give some props. We've got oven roasted turkey today. So a little bit of oven turkey roast with roasted baby potatoes, some butternut squash, thyme mixed in there, and chef choice salad. So it's not going to be a chicken dinner winner, but that could be a turkey, especially with my head on it. That's probably a turkey. So there it is, man. Shout out to our caterers and to Joseph over there because he's talked about how much he enjoys.
He loves it.
Turkey. So there it is, man. It is turkey, oven roasted turkey today at Trader TV Live. So, all right. So before we go back over to Adara, let's just quickly go over, have a quick look. Nvidia still bouncing its, yeah, that's Nvidia. Okay. Still bouncing its head off of 132.70 right now, wanting to go, but not really. AMD is probably a better play right now. You're at the 200 period moving average. The only thing about AMD is it's at the lows right now. Nvidia's bounced off the lows. So maybe if there's going to be weakness in the sector, I don't want to layer into AMD right now as I wait for Nvidia to go. But this is at the 200 period moving average. AMD well traded up to 122 today on that monster news of the $6 billion buyback, but share repurchase program, sorry. But that's not something right now that's affecting the stock this minute. We're back into the lows of AMD. And then SMCI right now as well, looking to do something here with SMCI, bouncing off the 50, making that low at 43, and it has a chance now to get back up to highs. But oh boy, we cooking right now. We'll say what's up to Brendo and go long on Nvidia and see if we could. All right, I'm gonna take out 2% maybe right now at 190. Oh, we just offered 193 and it turned around. Why did I say that? All right, we're offering 132.93 right now, and we do, there it is, we got it. And we do have Adara right now at the desk.
Here's the US dollar, and honestly, US dollar still doing what it's kind of been doing here. It has this uptrend that we've started since we made this pseudo double bottom back at the end of April. However, a little bit of resistance coming through here. We rejected this area just around 102s on Monday. We make this candle. Yesterday, we give back almost that entire move. Today, poised to push a little bit lower as well. Let's see here. Recent, I guess if you go back on this daily chart, there's been repeated touches of support here around that 100 level, understandably so. As of today, we bounce off of a low of 100.2. So looks like we could have some continued support if we stay above 100. Let's find out if 100 is an over-under level for that DXY. And if you enjoy the content, as always, make sure to like and subscribe. If you enjoy research and infographic themed content, check us out on X at TTV Research, where I post market related content, fun deep dives, and such every single day. Back to you.
We just need to throw to Adara more often because finally, Nvidia right now is starting to go. So we're really happy with this play, man. There it goes. Yes. Now almost $1 in on this one. And we've been holding. So we got out, right? We did get out. We got out of about 20% more as we start to climb. So we only have about 60% left as we get upside. We just took a 25s and our best fill is 27, sorry, which is right where it is right now. So Yahoo, finally, right now. This is like a 35 or 40-year-old. Thank you for the super chat right there, Jorge. I got a couple of these, couple of secrets still to come watch-wise, but this is one that maybe you guys haven't seen before. It's the Breitling right there, so good watch. We wore it for Mr. Wonderful, but we didn't get the time to go and show him right there. But okay, thank you, Jorge, right now, but thank you more importantly to Nvidia as that's climbing right back right now. And Google, man, obviously we got out of some of that position. We got over a third of what we were holding the last couple of days there on Google. But wow, Google up 3% right now and can't stop, won't stop. Google to the upside. Attaboy, Google. Attaboy. Keep on climbing high. I'm down with that. All right, let's go over to Neil and see what he's all about.
We just got some out of, look, I just got some out of Bybit. That's now starting to cruise back into the upside, but Bitcoin's been languishing. But you know what? Reddit has been a rocket ship. I don't know specifically what's going on with this bad boy, but shout out to everyone in the chat that has been all about Reddit. And we love major moving averages when you hold. This rejected the you-know-what out of the break of the 50 period the last time. Well, it's doing it again. Let's see what Reddit can do with this. I think it's incredibly bullish to immediately reject it. And then now with the market, try to break this big trend line. All you got to do is close above and break out a local high, and this thing could absolutely fly. You know what? We talk about stocks all the time, but there's another thing happening. I'm wearing my blue. Sean's got his blue. I don't see Joe in any blue today, but we've already laid down on ProfitX for the Maple Leafs tonight. So, but if you're looking to make plays, look, maybe you like the PGA Championship more than you like the Leafs or the NBA Championship. It doesn't really matter, because if you're looking for the best odds out there on the biggest matches, the biggest games, then switch to ProfitX's peer-to-peer platform. You get to set the price. No more one-size-fits-all lines. It's like crafting your own strategy in real time and then watching your plays come to life. Bid, offer, just like trading, everybody. You got total control at every step. It's sports playing reimagined, and use the code TraderTV to get the sign-up offer of 2% cash back up to $300. We've already laid down on the Leafs tonight, so that's what I'm looking for. Go Leafs, go. I just got 2 outs. We're going to play one more out into VWAP on IBIT. Like, this trend is pretty much exactly the same thing as yesterday. Let it double bottom.
Yeah, bro.
This is the level we waited for, like all the way down.
Energy.
Let it get to your level, then just get in one time, and hopefully we can get exactly what we saw over in AMD did this for us. Tesla did this for us once already. We're able to do it on SMCI. And all of those reversions have worked out so far. We'll take them.
Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, my bad. I was just waiting to hit that dollar club there. There goes Nvidia finally. Thank you for all the positive comments there in the chat. This is what we're trying to do daily on the show. So, I mean, finally, that's still Google. My bad. I was looking at Google. There goes Nvidia right there, finally starting to go back up to the upside. That's a smooth dollar. And it's also a dollar on the futures. So, yeah, man, what a great end today as we had patience, man. We preached it. We talked about it, and boom goes the dynamite for Nvidia. That's what it's doing right there. What's up to SF Day Trader? What's up to everybody in the chat? I'm going to leave, I mean, although, you know, Sharif does it better than I. Roll call. We'll leave that for Sharif. And man, it's, you know, I pass the torch on to you, you know, for the roll call right there. So shout out to that. Join us after hours for the recap show. Join us in a couple minutes with Sharif and Joe, and I'm sure they'll have bangers to talk about with you as well. But yeah, this is the one right there. It's the TQs also, man. I mean, all we did today was just like tried to play the momentum, man. It's a bull market. We know that. So we tried to play longs. We did that. This futures trade is really the banger of the day, man. I mean, we talked about it at 69 bucks. It's exactly what we wrote down. We're happy as you know what in that one. And now we're starting to get a little bit more out. I'm going to offer one more time here at 55s or 54s. We get that. Now let's see if we can get back to the day's high there on Nvidia, man. It's starting to go. It's starting to go. And the net is really rocking now. So there it goes, man. Congratulations to anybody that had this on. We just said we've got our Sharif energy right now. So here it goes, man. Not only is this show hopefully exciting, entertaining, we had Kevin O'Leary, we had Raheem Alani, but hopefully you guys have some of these bangers on board as well, because there goes Nvidia right there to the upside. Patience pays, man, and it also kills. So there it goes, man. Nice move there to the upside for NVDA. Could it be more happy than I am right now with this move? Because again, we preach patience. It came through. It was, for me, the trade of the day there with NVIDIA and the TQs. Only missed Tesla because we got stomped out. But stop outs are going to happen.
Tesla doesn't look so good anymore.
Oh, well, I'm still bidding down there.
Well, look, like Tesla, I saw people in the chat saying short Tesla. Look, the market just broke the trend to the upside. So that's an inopportune time for Tesla to be losing the volume weighted average price. So all of the relative strength that it had is coming out, and I don't know, like it's another fail. It cannot break the morning highs. Like you can see, someone's selling it at $345, and we're continuing to go lower. Maybe we get a retest of that bottom at 338 to 337. That would make a lot of sense. Shout out to Alphabet, Google, because
Google.
It's absolutely parabolic. I'm looking across the board. A name that we haven't talked about here at all today. Like can't even get Amazon can't even get green, struggling. It gets above volume weighted average price, but can't even get green. You look over at Softy, and it's bull flagging. So the Mag 7 are very divergent back and forth with Google strength, Microsoft okay, Apple meh, Amazon blah, and Tesla, I think to be determined over there on Tesla. We're just going to stay into IBIT, but with 1 minute to go, all of a sudden SMCI, it's holding above the volume weighted average price. It has V-shaped recoveries in it. We've seen the stock do that before. I did get trailed out of it, but stick with what has been working this morning and has been working to scalp out of the longs. I think if you can hold 44, you can get back into 47. I do want to remind myself that there's pretty much nothing up here on SMCI unless you go back to levels, like go back to like a level from December last year. Does that really matter up at 48.5 to 50? Well, there's not a heck of a lot standing in its way outside of the current high of the day on SMCI. And then remember, we do have an IPO. It's not as big as I would like on eToro, so I'm ho-humming as to whether I want to take an opening print when it's only going to be 600 million shares. I don't think I've ever taken one that was that small. Usually you want like $1 billion at least. $1 billion. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
It's only $600 million, I mean. It's underneath $1 billion. Not much in terms of an update, but it is still going higher. 64.50, the new indicated open, $52 issue. So it's still within reason, 20% higher. That's not out of the pocket for me. I might still take smaller size on the opening print. Yeah, I'm a little surprised at how small that one is. I thought it was going to be a little bit bigger on eToro. You want those billions, and then you just take the opening print because you know how much volume is going to be. I'm not sure how much liquidity we'll see on eToro, which has me a little bit hesitant to take the normal size like we did on CoreWeave.
All right, I won't be here, so I will not be doing eToro. Palantir 129 and change. We'll see if this one wants to drop down into those levels as well. But so far, so good. It's been a great show. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Rahim Alani from OCI Group coming through as well. Thank you to Kevin O'Leary from O'Leary Ventures. And I saw Beanstalk. I meant to ask him what that was all about. Thank you, Kevin, for coming through. And I'm sure he'll join us anytime, really. I mean, congratulations on the WonderFi over there as well for everybody invested in that name. As well. But yeah, man, the day just keeps on, for me, pumping along. We'll be back at 2 o'clock. For you guys, good trading there today. Yeah. And thank you to everybody for joining us one more time. Another big number of viewers, so we thank you that. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Now let's go over to my two favorite guys. It's Joe and it's Sharif. Thanks, Bears vs. Bulls.